ready to start or what?
Yeah.
All right, let's begin here. We're going to recap from last week. On the island of Kaza-Dur, the travelers made a surprise reunion with Meglar and his traveling companion Sodaj Che. The travelers together they made their way across the Bay of Derma. Once in the Orc slaver encampment, they purchased and liberated the Juka tribe goblins, including Vihi, the chief's wife. After leaving the camp, Vasan and Yuri met members of the ship known as the Wayward Hammer, and they told them that they were part of an organization in Liara known as Moradin's Left Hand. You guys made your way back to the Goblin village, and the travelers were celebrated, and Chief Urk agreed to send warriors out to hunt down a Razorhog in return for helping the tribe. That's where we're going to start. It's the next morning, and you guys wake up feeling really well, and you guys you've been actually resting and having some pretty good nights, so you guys wake up, and Chief Urk has appointed a goblin tribesman known as Haas to kind of accompany you in your journey north. You guys wake up and you see Haas. He's this shirtless. He has a necklace made of 3 bird skulls. He wears a headband made of like red feathers. His body is covered in these primitive looking like black ink tribal tattoos. He has a large scar stretching from his shoulder down his side. In one of his hands he holds a spear, and you can see a short bow on his back. He sits around the communal fireplace with the rest of you guys we find you sitting around sharing a handful of these fat yellow grubs that Haas is passing out to everybody. A goblin female sits behind him, and she's tapping a small mallet against a long thorn into his back, and he sits there calm without wincing even the slightest. He passes the grub around to the rest of you, and he says, "Must eat good food, good energy. Food for the warrior." And this is where we're going to begin.
Try anything once. Bow down on some grubs.
I guess I'll take one and I'll chew it. I don't want to swallow it whole. That might not end well.
Yeah, so you put it in your mouth, and as soon as you chew it, it just like explodes in your mouth, and you feel this like gooey, this slime. You can tell that the consistency of it is like some thick pudding. But the taste is not exactly terrible, but it's definitely not something you want to breathe in and take it all in.
I managed to keep it down.
But yeah, you do a good job, and you actually surprisingly kind of don't mind the taste of it, and so both.
But that texture, nah, fuck off of that.
One and done for me.
But instantly, both you, Hector, and Vitoris, after eating these, like you start feeling like a rush of energy, kind of rush through your body, and you feel pretty good. You both get yourself 5 extra temporary hit points for the day.
Oh shit! Maybe I can get over that texture.
Nope.
I feel like Snodlers would not be against or having not eaten weirder things, so he's just like eating them like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely assume that Snodlers would indulge in like big fat grub, something that you probably would find in the Underdark anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like he's excited about it. He was like, whatever, normal shit.
Tastes like home.
Yuri just holds his hand up and says, "No thanks, my friend. Last time I ate those grubs, my dick hole was
I'll be right back.
sealed."
Carry on.
Okay, yeah. So
I will take one.
all right, so yeah, you guys all, anybody who's indulging in these plentiful, these fat yellow grubs, you get the 5 temporary hit points. And
Do we have to make the Constitution saves?
only if you'd like to.
Okay.
I'll be skipping breakfast today.
Okay, so this is the next morning, or this is the night before?
Yeah, this is the next morning. You guys are all sitting around the fire.
Okay.
There's several other like goblins and stuff like sitting around. It's just like It's a large fire. It's the communal fire in the morning where everybody kind of sits around and they talk and share a kind of breakfast together. But Haas looks up at you, Yuri, and he just kind of like, rolls his shoulders a little bit. He's like, "Your loss."
Haas sounds like a boss.
So, we're figuring out what we want to do for the day? Should we go back to the village and explain to them how you guys ruined Grimm's day?
Nah, they'll be fine.
Is our ship over there?
Our ship is through the encampment, yeah. It's west of here. Well, southwest, I guess. We're going north today, right? He's gonna take us to the volcano. Hey, Haas, how far are you gonna take us?
Oh, Haas take you far? I go no volcanoes, but I travel far.
Will you be okay on your own after we keep going?
I am a great warrior.
Okay.
Why are we going to the volcano again?
Seems like a cool place to visit.
Snodless doesn't remember either, honestly.
I mean, is there a purpose to going, or is there more important things we should be doing, or no? Just curious.
I mean, probably, but I just wanted to really go see a volcano.
Fair enough.
Where's Vossen at? Is he the one that said he'd be right back, or is that
No,
Tor?
I'm sitting around fire.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you didn't tell. We haven't told them about the map yet, right?
No. No one's asked.
They're sort of asking why we're going now, but I'm not divulging anything because it's your map. I don't want to spill the beans. That's why I was just checking. So it's
No, it's fine.
back at the campfire. So yeah, we were planning on going through the forest, right, to the jungle.
Yep, that's what we were doing. Unless you guys object to that. I mean, you did say the jungle was a dangerous place.
Well, we had a choice between
That and the
Plains.
plains. I know.
where there. The plains was more dangerous. This takes longer.
I mean, is it possible to sail around to the volcano?
No,
No?
it's too hard to get inland with one. The ship is huge. Well, we might be able to use Meglar's ship for that, but also it's difficult finding a place inland to.
I think it's got like sheer walls all around it.
Yeah, it's difficult to get from the water to the land.
Haas leads you right to the volcano.
Nice.
We got a good guide here in Haas.
What's Haas? What's our best way of getting through the jungle? Is it slow and quiet, or just get through quick as possible?
You just keep up with me.
All right, Hoss. How do you get to here? And I pull the parchment out and show him.
And as you show him, he kind of starts laughing a little bit, and he looks and he's like pointing at a couple of spots. He's like, "Oh, that's not right. Funny." And he looks at the map, and he points up at the sky. He's like, one moon.
Hold on, I have to pull this map back up because I'm so confused.
One moon.
Maybe there's 2 moons on the map.
What are you guys talking about, map?
So Haas, with a map in his hand, he looks over to you, Yuri, and he's like, he kind of like shows it towards your direction. He's like, map? Kind of like questioning.
Like he doesn't even know either?
Well, the one thing, you guys probably all would know that, like, Haas isn't the greatest at speaking common, and any of the goblins that you have talked to here, like, they speak, like, some basic common, but they might not know all the words.
Does he feel that the map is unnecessary since he's such a, I don't know what you'd call it, pioneer, I guess, or
Warrior! Great warrior!
warrior?
Haas need no map.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's wrong? It only has one moon.
We travel one moon to Volcano.
Oh, nice.
Snodlet thinks he might be saying night.
I just look around at everyone and say, can't believe none of you fuckers speak Goblin.
Oh, please be my guest.
I don't speak Goblin.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Haas. I think we're ready to take off when you are.
So he yells over to the goblin behind him, the woman that's giving him a tattoo, and he yells, and he gets up and she grabs her stuff and leaves, and you see him kind of like brush himself off, and he looks like he's standing proud and strong, but yet he's really only like 3 feet tall, and he looks ready to go.
Snodlet gets up.
Let's do this.
Hell yeah.
All right, so
You're shooting that crossbow there, Vectorus.
Yuri hops up, looks over at Maglar, holds his fist out for a fist bump.
All right, Meglar gives a fist bump.
Then he says to him, "Got your javelin, Maglar?"
I got 3.
Nice. All right, carry on.
all right, so I'm assuming you guys grab all your stuff, finish up your grubs, and you start heading off into the heading north through a small trail, and Haas leads the way, no problem. You make your way through, and he's just kind of like stepping effortlessly. Some of you guys have to duck down a little bit, as these trails are not really groomed for anybody over the height of like 4 foot. But for the most part, the travel is pretty steady. It's not like super slow. This trail is a well-known trail by his people, so you just follow close to Haas for a short time. After probably about an hour or so, the jungle at this point, like, it looks thick. Like, there's like everywhere you look, there's just like, again, there's snakes and frogs, and you see birds flying. It's like a complete, like, alive ecosystem. And as you draw like further and further into the jungle, after about an hour or so, it starts to get a little bit quieter, and Haas has like a puzzled, almost nervous look on his face, and he stops you guys dead in your tracks, and he's like, make no sounds.
Can I cast this real quick?
You sure can.
Yuri gets closer to Snodler's, thinking maybe one of these giant birds is going to try to snatch us up.
All right, so at that point, everybody go ahead and roll stealth.
Hell yeah.
This is not rocky terrain, right? We're in like a forest.
Yeah, right. It's a good thing you cast that spell.
Damn it. Oh, that's still terrible.
Could have been a lot worse, though.
Wait, what? Watson rolled twice.
I don't know, but his 22 plus.
I
10
didn't see it. I had it scrolled down, so I was like, why the fuck didn't it show?
Oh,
All right, cool.
My first roll was baller.
okay. So we'll have him roll stealth as well. It's great.
Is that the one that told us to be quiet?
Yeah. Yeah. So as he stands there, and, he tells you, "Shh, make no sounds." You guys kind of stop and look around for a second. Actually, you guys gonna make perception checks too. Who's leading the pack with Haas? We'll put it that way.
I'm typically near the front, but not up front.
I'm assuming the two closest to Haas make some perception checks.
I'd probably be second unless somebody else wanted to.
I'll be up front then.
Carlos and then me behind.
All right, so you guys go ahead and make some perception checks.
Yep. That's right. There we go. Oh.
We're rolling good tonight, boys.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, you guys stand there and you look puzzled at just the thick jungle forest around you, and so Haas kind of motions to like get down like a little bit lower, and he starts making his way back down the trail. At this point, though, he's definitely like cautious, and you can tell something's got him spooked.
Gotcha. I'll follow behind him best I can.
All right, so
Snugglelotus is curious why we're not making noise.
Birds.
Just the birds?
I mean, also the bees.
Haas turns around. He's like, "Shh, quiet."
I mean, I got an eye. I'm trying to play it. Sorry.
And so you guys like make your way a little bit further down this trail, and you can start seeing like a small clearing up ahead where the some of the like the underbrush disappears, but there's still these massive trees and vines all over. But in the distance, you can see this like thick tangle of thorny brush, like at the other end of this small clearing. I mean, by small, it's probably only about like 20, 30 feet wide. And the trail actually kind of makes its way into this little clearing. And you see Haas kind of like slowly peek out through there. And he steps about 10 feet into this clearing, and all of a sudden you just see this arrow go flying right by his face and like hit a tree right next to him. He's like, "Da, da, da," and he just starts yelling something in Goblin. And at that point, you guys all look up where the arrow came from, and you see this single Goblin. He's kind of standing up outside of this thick, these thorny brush. This Goblin in particular, he is covered in this red paint. Like he's all red. He's got these braided long black hair. You can see on the top of his head he's got like small animal bones kind of like sticking out, woven into the hair. And as he releases the arrow, as you see it almost hit Haas, he ducks back down into the brush. And I will put you guys on this map.
Snugglelotus takes his left hand out and a pen manifests, and he digs through his bag for a book.
All right. And we'll have you guys roll for initiative. And the goblin, the arrow that you saw, he was standing like behind this brush pile right here. As he popped his head up, you saw him loose this arrow and then duck back down.
That again?
Right there.
Thank you.
That's the point of where the fireball is going to go.
Yeah, I was like, so within fireball range. Got it.
Gotcha. Enough said. So this arrow goes shooting out, and instantly Yuri takes notice. What are you going to do, Yuri?
Well, being that I don't see anything, I did see the direction the arrow came from, right?
Right, yeah, you could tell it came from over here. You also, like, you guys all saw this glimpse of this this red figure standing amidst all this greenery stand up. I mean, he's not very tall. I mean, but he's standing up far enough as you guys are looking in that direction. You see him pop up, shoot the arrow, graze by Haas, and then he just scurries back into the brush.
Over here, you said?
Yeah.
I am going to move over here. How tall is this? Something I can hide behind here?
So this will more so be like, yeah, big trees. They probably have like a 2-foot diameter tree trunk on them. You could probably kind of like hide up behind it.
I'm going to move up, try to hide behind it, and take dodge action.
So do you want to hide or do you want to dodge?
Well, when I say I'm going to hide, I don't mean actually hide. I probably should have worded it different.
Yeah, because hide is a possible action you could take.
Hug up against, you know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha. So you're just going to lean up against a tree. You're still in sight, but you're going to dodge. Very good. Okay, cool. All right.
It's pretty weak for the first turn.
Hey, you know,
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. All right, Snothers, what do you want to do?
So did I see that it was out of one of these bushes over here?
Yeah. Yep. You guys pretty much all see that it was directly ahead of you.
All right. So I am going to run up a little bit and then try to like see a spot in the bush that I can see, and I will cast my
everybody.
Where is this guy? I just found it. The Manifest Mind, which creates that little duplicate dude.
Awesome.
The little tiny spectral dude. A part of that, he can telepathically share with me what he sees and hears. No action required. That's my bonus action. And with my action, I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts and move hopefully within range. Although this is going to be really funny because this is the first time that Snodlers has probably done this with someone whose language he doesn't speak. So I literally run out like, "Hello? We don't mean any harm yet."
You get a dialect similar to what you've heard before of the goblins, the Juka tribe, but slightly different, a little bit more aggressive sounding. You can't understand what it's saying, but it definitely sounds aggressive.
Does Detect Thoughts give me image or just actual language?
Let's see. You initially learn the surface thoughts. What's on his mind?
I don't know that it makes it clear, so I mean I think it's on you, and that's fine if it's words. It's no big deal to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's more so words than images, at least in this case.
That's fine. And my dude is probably in the brush and absolutely in the wrong location, so I expect nothing from him as well, and that will be my turn.
Do you want a little token for him, or do you just?
That'd be cool.
All right.
I usually put the cross noddlers out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get you something cool. All right, that works. At least we know where he is. All right, so that's your turn. So at that point, all of a sudden, you guys see something dart up from from behind, like the brush pile. You see this like blur as this thing kind of shoots up, and you can tell it's some sort of large bird. I'd say it's probably got a good 2-foot wingspan, and it shoots up into the clouds like with this incredible speed. And
that's behind us. right?
Yeah, like on the opposite side of where you guys are looking, on the other side of this like this mass of like these thorn bushes. So like out here. Anyway, so as you see this thing dart up in the air, you kind of like draw your attention up to the sky, down there, so then within seconds you see this this bird come screeching down, attacking you with its claws or its talons out in front of it. It's this falcon comes screeching in on top of you. Sorry, I don't like this GM overlay. I almost have a hard time like switching layers. It's not smooth.
That's hard.
So much little online shit. Sorry, bear with me. One more second. Okay, so now there's this bird comes screeching in, attacking, trying to attack you. That is with its claws. Yay!
Oh, I'm sure he will.
And at the same time, Yuri, you see this similar bird come streaking down from, kind of flanking from the side of you. All right. So the first one, he dives down on to Snouthers. Makes it attack. With a 17 to hit.
Damn it. That's my AC if I shield.
And so as this thing comes like shooting down, it hits you for 7 points of slashing damage.
Did I also get temporary hit points for the grub?
You did, yep.
Making sure. Thank you.
And on top of that, it does an extra 6 points of slashing damage.
Ah! Nautilus doesn't like these things.
And with that, let me see how much movement it's got. So
Can I infer that he was shooting at the birds behind us? Do I think that he's still a threat?
The goblin in the bushes.
Yeah.
You can perceive that could be still a threat. I don't know. I mean, do an intelligence check.
Just raw intelligence?
Just raw intelligence, yeah. All right, so the glimpse of this thing as it's like scratching across you, and you're trying to like fend it off, and you're waving your arms. You notice that this bird has a ribbon tied around one of its talons.
Understood.
You understand that it's a trained falcon. As it slashes you, and it leaves your let me see. So many character sheets. It leaves your oh yeah, it's got some speed. It leaves your vicinity and just shoots back up into the trees. And you do not
yeah, no opportunity attack.
No opportunity attack.
Yay!
These things are fast. Yuri, this one also comes screeching out from the side across the treetops and makes an attack on you. Oh, with an 18 to hit.
Yeah.
That's going to hit, and he hits you also for 13 points of slashing damage. And this thing, it comes across you, and you kind of like feel it brush against your face, and one of the talons just catches you just underneath your beard, and you kind of reach up and make sure that you're not bleeding out as this thing just darts back up into the trees. All right, Meglar, you see these birds swooping down. What do you want to do?
They like down by the ground where I could reach them?
No, they're back up in the sky where you probably cannot reach them. Let me just check the movement to see if you can actually still hit them. So.
Okay.
And we still see them.
So,
Yeah.
So wait, Meglar doesn't see them?
No, just give me just a second here. Can you guys see if I put a marker on the screen? I've never really paid attention to this. Like, can you see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good. So,
I mean, no, I can't.
just asking for a friend.
I think there's a way you can hide that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I don't really want to
You
give
just
you...
click hide from others. It's like, now nobody else should be able to see my arrows, but you should still be able to see the purple one, yeah?
Oh, you know, I never even saw that? Yeah, so you guys can't see that, huh?
Now if you're doing it again, no, I can't see
Exactly, cool. Hey, thanks, you know, I never even noticed that on there.
it. Anytime.
So, I'm just curious. There's no dodging that attack at all.
No.
Wait, he said he was dodging, right? So
Oh yeah, he
you
had
get-
disadvantage. His attack would have been a 12. So he would have missed.
Is that just for taking the dodge action?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, because you were hugged up against that tree, and so Meglar, to answer your question, both of these birds you do see, they got some speed. So they're about 40 feet.
Wingspan?
50. Yeah, they're about 50 feet up in the air at this point. Both of them, like flying up above the trees. So yeah, you can see them probably just up into the top of the trees.
So,
You know you want to
I'm
do
probably.
it.
What's that?
You know you want to do it. It's just
Do it!
What? Throw a javelin at
yes.
Oh man!
him? All right, I will throw a javelin at him.
This is your
At
moment.
this guy here.
Okay.
Better not fucking miss.
At least he's throwing it up.
This is what you made Meglar for.
What's
I
the
hope
range
I'm
of a javelin? This is 50 feet up. Could
I want to say it's 30-60, but I could be wrong.
3120.
okay.
Oh, really?
So it's going to
Nice.
be a disadvantage shooting this thing in the air, but
I hope I'm not standing under it when I land.
Try to rage, but yep, I'm raging.
okay. So yeah, you launch this thing up there, and it seems like it's out of range, but you just end up clipping this thing, and it spears right through this falcon, and you just see it start like spiraling out of control and just crash through the brush into the trees in the distance here. Yeah,
Sweet.
you got him.
All right.
It's justice for Snodlers.
That's the one that attacked you, Yuri. But
Yeah, justice for you.
Thanks, Maglar.
Don't say I did anything for you.
Oh, I won't.
Good. All right, so yep, that's pretty much my move.
all right, so that brings up Kolos.
Alright. As my bonus action, I'm going to hit Shield of Faith.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attempt to throw a javelin at this guy. Is he in range?
So
It would be disadvantage, right?
yeah, so he is, yeah, he's probably the same distance basically, 50 feet up above. He's probably a little bit higher. He's probably about 70 feet above Snodlers basically.
Oh, he's over by Snodlers, but straight up, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Like swooped down and he started just shooting back up toward the top of the trees.
Alright, I'll give it a throw. Hey.
Yeah.
Taking it high school track and field team.
That's what it feels like. Yeah, so yeah, Kolos, you kind of rear back on this javelin and you just launch it, and yeah, you just pluck this thing out of the air too.
Nice. That ends my turn.
All right, Vitoris.
I'll move up. We don't know exactly where this goblin is.
No, you just know like roughly that he was in the brush up ahead of you.
Alright, I'll
Set all that shit on fire.
no. I don't have a way to set it on fire. Well, maybe I do. We can start a shower of sparks. I'll pull out my crossbows and I'll hold my actions. If the goblin shows up, I will shoot him because there was only the 2 birds, right?
Yeah, that's the only 2 that you've seen.
For now.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I'll move up to there and I'll hold my action. If he comes out swinging, then I'll just shoot him in his face. Or I'll try to shoot him in the face.
Okay.
Ooh, I see all those.
What's up?
I can see all your lines.
Oh, yeah, those aren't mine.
No.
I was like, what? What are you talking about?
I know where he's
Did I hit the wrong button? That's why I didn't want to happen. No, I have the green arrow, so...
Oh, I apologize.
Alright, so... Vasen, what do you want to do?
So those birds fucking dive bomb, and I'm gonna remember what the guy said and like fucking run and dive into the bushes, stay under the trees, and dodge action.
Okay, beautiful.
Turn.
All right, so as you run and do that, all of a sudden you just hear like this collective of goblin voices, like kind of guttural, all start like screaming out, and you see about a dozen of these things. These heads kind of pop up out of these thorn bushes, and they all start shooting arrows at you guys.
Oh no.
Which bushes?
All of the bushes.
I'm gonna just give like a large swath where the fireball's going.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let me give you the targets.
They look like exactly fireball distance. It's like that was
No.
planned.
Trying to like rack up your kill count. All right. So Goblin number 1, Jimbo out here in the forest. He I don't have to keep track of all these little guys, huh? All right. So first guy, he shoots an arrow at the closest guy he sees, which happens to be Fawcett as he's streaking across the open area there. And choo! He shoots a short bow with a 14 to hit.
Negative.
Nice. Goblin number 2, he's kind of like way in the back here. He sees you running across. He makes also a short bow attack. Oh, this guy is going to get a 23 to hit.
Just hits.
For 3 points of piercing damage as an arrow just kind of like just grazes you.
I'm gonna use my reaction to deflect missile.
All right, go for it.
I deflected the missile. Since I reduced it to 0, I'm gonna use a key point to throw back at
Nice.
disadvantage.
All right.
13 hit.
13 misses.
Oh, so, like jumping through the air, and I catch it and like try to like backhand throw it at the guy.
This guy in the front, he pops up, and you can see him like with this like red war paint on, and he draws his bow at you, Vitoris, takes a shot. Oh, with a crit.
I was gonna shield too.
It's 24. Oh yeah, I'm really great at math. 24 was the hit. 11 points of piercing damage.
Oh.
You couldn't beat 24 AC if you shielded?
No.
Can you uncanny dodge?
Did you see it coming?
All right, so that was that guy. So next dude over here, the only guy he sees is Vasen also running through the brush. Takes a shot with his short bow, and he's gonna miss with a 7.
Like dodge behind my head behind the tree. Oof, miss bitch.
Another guy out here shoots a short bow at Vitoris with a 15 to hit. I think that's gonna miss, right?
That's gonna miss.
Barely misses. Some of these little goblins in the back, also they're all shooting down at Snodlers with a 21 to hit. Snodlers, sorry.
Don't apologize. I ran forward for a reason. Let's go.
It's 6 points of piercing damage.
Done.
Who do we got left? Lone shark out in the back. He sees Vitoris, takes a shot. 18 to hit for 7 points of piercing.
Shield.
Beautiful. Oh, this guy might have to actually have disadvantage. He's kind of out there. Nope, he's 65 feet of Vasen and takes a shot with a short bow with 11 to hit. It's gonna miss. The final bloke in the trees, another short bow of Vasen. Okay, also rolls an 11. Some shitty ass goblins. So collectively, though.
No, that's Vossen dodging and weaving. Crazy monk. That's what that is.
Yeah. So these guys all miss, and they're all gonna roll stealth checks to see if they can hide back into the brush.
I was so close to prepping Fairy Fire today too. Like, you don't even know.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll. I'll roll. Do you guys want me to roll for each individual guy? Possibly if they roll bad, maybe. But
I was maybe do by groups like.
I was thinking about doing groups of,
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna separate them into groups, and we're just gonna do a collective roll. So it's gonna take all day. Yeah. So these guys on the left, you guys can see them as the thorn bushes aren't very thick there. The guys in the middle, you're gonna see them too. Oh, terrible. They both rolled a 4. So as long as you guys have a passive perception higher than 4, these guys suck. These other guys are just gonna be hidden. Last group, they're definitely hidden too. So all of these goblins in the center, these five goblins basically, those guys, they all are in. You guys are close enough to see them within the thorn bushes and stuff. The other ones, they've all ducked back out of the way, and you actually don't know where they are.
So far left is hidden, correct?
Or not hidden.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said close enough, so I thought it was these two. My bad.
Yeah, these guys that are actually like theoretically closer to you, you saw them duck back in and scurry about throughout the thorns. You know they didn't get any closer because they didn't pop out charging you, but all right. So that takes it. That's it for their turn. But then all of a sudden, from the back of the brush, you see 2 goblins making their way on foot, pissed off that their falcons were just shot out of the sky. These 2 guys draw short swords and start charging through these narrow paths now that you see. All right, so those 2 guys you do see. You see these 2 goblins with scimitars just kind of like running along the sides of these massive bushes. That brings up Hector with Yuri after that.
Well, fuck. All right. I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna do a guiding bolt on this dude. Oops, back here, all the way in the back.
Okay. Oh yeah, 17 will hit him.
Oh, worst roll ever. 8 damage he's gonna take.
That's enough to fry him.
Oh, really?
You just sniped him.
Nice. And then for what's the goblin next to me? Our guide. What's he doing? What's hostile?
Oh shit! I forgot to roll for him. He gets an attack. Who went first? Yuri went first, right? So we'll just put him in the end after
me.
After you. So hold on, let me get him in here.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna give him a 4.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna take a step back, like behind this. This is the top of a tree I'm looking at, right? Next to me.
Yep. Those are tops of trees.
Just try and get some partial cover from them, or is it full cover? Or...
Oh, you can get partial cover, yeah.
Sweet. Oh, was that guy supposed to have partial cover? By the way, that guy just sniped. Or full cover?
Yeah, I'm gonna say like that area of these weeds are kind of like thin at that point, so like they're not thick enough to actually provide any cover from something like that. So
cool. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. So that brings up Haas. You hear him yell something back to these guys in Goblin, and as he sees these other two approaching, he darts off, pulls out his scimitar, and comes charging, dashes through everybody.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Dashes in the front, gets one shot. There goes our guide.
Yeah, he literally makes it just about all the way up to the other goblins. You hear, as he's like running by you, Venturus, he's like screaming in Goblin. He just seems like the most ferocious warrior goblin. But that's all he can do.
Can I like try to trip him as he goes by or something?
Okay, you can. Go ahead and make a athletics check against his dexterity.
Yeah, no, he's just fucking.
It is possible. Let me see. He might roll really terrible. Oh no, he crits. 22 total. So
that's two crits on me you've had so far.
Yeah. So
don't reload.
So you put your foot out to try to like nonchalantly trip him. He sees it. He like slow motion leaps over it, kind of looks back at you and gives you a little bit of a growl. And you see a couple of these sharp fangs that he has, and he comes charging into the brush, scimitar in his hand. That brings up Yuri.
I'm gonna go get a drink quick because I'm gonna be a minute.
Yeah, you might be a couple minutes.
You probably didn't hear me?
Nope, didn't hear you.
I dashed my 50 feet, and that's all I can do.
Okay.
Await my attack, which puts me right in front of this goblin, though.
Well, you don't actually know he's there.
Oh, is he hidden?
He's hidden. So you run up to these like razor sharp thorn bushes.
All right. Same difference. Only I guess I just blatantly ran over by where
you last saw these guys.
I don't know, could I see this guy?
You do see that guy, yeah, and you see you see Haas like charging at him.
Yeah, so I just dash as close as I can, and that's all I can do.
Okay, Snodlers, you're up, and Meglar, you're after that.
Snodlers looks around. My bonus action, I would like to move my spectral just buried it into the bush. I don't know how far or where I'd be able to do it. It's technically a vision set, so I know it's supposed to be thick, but it's also hovering. It can't pass through solid objects, but the twigs, like there's some shenanigans going on here.
Yeah, so like I think like him kind of like hovering over the brush might have a better chance of seeing down inside the gaps. So
do I see any of them in there, or at least hear any of them, or do I get a hint that any of them are in there?
Make a perception check. I'm assuming he uses your perception, so.
I have no idea.
Let's just say that he does. Okay, yeah, you see one of them. You see the guy that you floated past.
All right. So once he sees him, as I'm running away, I'm going to use Manifest Mind, cast spell. Did it just copy the same thing in? No. And I am going to cast Fireball on itself from itself.
Wow.
Oh God.
Okay. I'm liking it. So you cast Fireball on himself as the point of origin, your little mini-me?
Yep.
Okay.
So 20, obviously it's all hidden from wherever.
Yeah, 20 foot, right? All right.
So I missed these two.
Yeah.
I was hoping I was going to squeeze over to the other side, but if you told me that I crossed over one and saw him, I stopped.
Yeah, so you just missed the two fighting there. You're definitely gonna hit the guy that you see, and the one that's kind of on the other side, rushing up. So let's see what happens here. I'm pretty sure they're gonna instantly die. Yeah, they're gonna die. Let me check this guy's health though. This guy might have a chance. Dex save for the rushing guy. He rolls a 20. So he takes 12.
Yep.
So your fireball does completely disintegrate the guys that were hidden in this brush.
And then I ran my ass back a little bit, so I'm not in auto range of getting my shit punched in. And surrounded by other people way far in the back. And that's my turn.
And as you do that, you notice some of these this thick thorn bushes are caught on fire. There's a lot of dampness and stuff here, so you didn't just cause a forest fire or anything, but you definitely are singeing a lot of this this jungle floor here.
Nice. Yeah, it was. I feel like it was actual fire.
Yeah, I don't think you would have poisoned. That just would have been lame.
Yeah, fire.
All right, Meglar. No, now there's most of the work. What are you gonna do?
Oh, I don't see these goblins, right?
You don't see the ones on the right-hand side.
Okay.
They are
Would I have to
technically
walk up closer
they are technically
to-
moving throughout the brush there.
All right.
But yeah, you see these two guys that are still kind of half-ass hiding in the bushes there.
All right. Let me look at the speed here. All right. I'm just gonna use my speed just to get up a little, just to try to get closer to them, and then I'm gonna use my search action.
Fuck you searching for?
Whatever's making that fucking racket. I hear arrows, but I don't see anything.
Well, yeah, you could run up and see these two guys that are standing there.
Oh, I could?
Yeah, they're not hidden.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just dash then.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
That's pretty much all I can do.
Okay, sounds good. Kolos?
Alright. I'm all. Yeah, screw it, I'll just dash.
Hmm.
Alright, there's 60. Alright, that ends my turn.
Alright. That brings up Vitoris, who just tried to trip an ally. What are you gonna do?
I'll run there. I can see this one, right?
Oh yeah, and you can see some fire kind of shooting out from the bushes now.
I wonder who did that. I'll take a shot at that one.
Nautilus was just clearing the way for you.
Thanks. I'm just glad I wasn't in there.
Next time.
Because I know it doesn't matter to you. 26 to hit.
Ooh yeah, that's a nice hit.
Nautilus Chaos just isn't really sure of the power yet.
I mean, you see where I'm standing.
For 9 piercing.
Okay. What the hell does happen? Nice.
Offhand 22 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
For 4.
All right, yeah. So you just sink 2 crossbow bolts right into his chest. But he's still coming.
I'm with you, Haas. And that's it for my turn.
All right. So the goblins, they all collectively, they bounce back up and take some shots. Shots. This guy's gonna take a shot at Meglar. He's running up at him. Oh shit! Did I just close out his character sheet? Awesome, smart. Meglar, he shoots at you with a 22 to hit.
All right, that hits.
So you take 5 points of piercing damage. You take an arrow to the hip.
Since I'm raging, I actually get resistance to that.
You're not raging anymore.
Oh, I'm not? Okay.
You didn't make an attack last turn.
I did. The other. Oh, okay.
Because he dashed.
You just dashed.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take those 5 points then.
Yes, you will. Goblin, this guy, hidden guy, he's gonna have. He makes his way through the bushes and jumps out, attacking Haas.
No, not our guy.
Yeah, and he crits. Wow, these guys are awesome. Yeah, so he hits Haas for a nice little chunk as he just lunges out of this razor vine. It hits him for 7 points of damage. Okay, next goblin. He's dead. He got fireballed. So this guy, he also pops out of the bushes. This time at Yuri, as he gets a jump on him. Yuri kind of startled for a second. He kind of jumps out to the side of you. Scimitar in his hand with a 17 to hit. It misses.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I got it. Goblin in the woods shooting at Meglar. There's this little guy down here. It's a 13. That's gonna miss Meglar. Who we got left? That one got fireballed. So this guy. Alright, so this guy pops up out of the bushes, takes a shot at Kolos. With a 9, awesome.
Yeah, that misses.
Not all of them can be true warriors, but this other one, his partner does the same thing, takes a shot.
They obviously didn't eat the grubs.
This one gets a little bit of a better shot, though. He gets a better angle on you, and he hits you with a 23 to hit.
That hits.
For 6 points of piercing damage.
Alright. What do I roll for concentration?
Constitution check, and you gotta get... I don't know what the check is, though. Is it just 10 or higher?
It's 10 or higher, or half the damage rounded down, whichever is higher.
Gotcha. So it would be 10 or higher.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
So I still have my shield.
Yep. This goblin's dead. All right, so these guys are gonna make their hide checks now. They all kind of duck back into the bushes. Goblins on the left. We'll start with those, the ones that were hidden. Oh, this time they roll a 21, so those guys are just.
Who just typed in chat?
Wicked Heart.
The character's not in this game.
Who is that? Oh, is that one of the B team?
Yeah, the B team's here. All right, so these other two guys in the center that were just closing in on Kolos, you guys see them standing kind of like elevated in this like large mound of these vines. The guys over here, this guy is not hiding. He's in combat. These other two guys are in combat with swords. They're not thinking about going back in and hiding. But they will. This guy that's attacking Yuri will disengage, and he's gonna go back in to the bushes. You can still see him, Yuri, but he's like making his way back into the bushes. He definitely doesn't want to mess with you with your armor. Vasan, you're up, seeing the action unfold. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna run out of these bushes. And, like, how is this up high?
Yeah, so like that's some thick stuff, so it's gonna cost you difficult terrain if you're trying to travel through that stuff. But I say high.
45.
It's elevated, but it's not like high.
I got 45. That'll get there, right? It was 35 with it.
Yep. So you make your way through these branches that kind of like you can feel these small thorns kind of like sticking into your legs and kind of like wrapping into your clothing and slowing you down.
When I get to like the top of the little mound, I fucking swing around and try to like crack the guy in the ribs.
Not his little goblin ribs.
Oh my god!
Not with that.
I go again. Oh,
Ooh, that's gonna make a connection.
Two-handed fucking crack for 7.
All right, so you crack this one dude's ribs, and you can hear like him gasp for breath, and he kind of slumps down into the to the brambles.
My bonus action flurry blows on the other dude. They come around and like roundhouse kick this dude in the face.
Aww. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
9 damage.
Yeah, these guys are pretty weak. Once you get in combat with them, you snap his neck.
That's my turn.
All right, cool. That brings up this dude that's fighting Haas over here. He is going to run right past Haas, kind of almost pushing his compatriot out of the way as he kind of makes his way up towards the more threatening target of this armored dwarf. He's going to start swinging his scimitar at you, Yuri. And this guy looks a little bit bigger than the other goblins. And you can also notice at this point he's got these like leather straps like around his shoulder and stuff. This is one of the goblin falconeers. He swings his scimitar towards you, and you bring your shield up and deflect the first attack. He brings it back around the second time with an 18 to hit. So this time he's going to hit for 5 points of slashing damage. You block the first one, but he's quicker than you, and he comes back and just kind of like hits you up in the chest, kind of surprising you a little bit. That's it for his turn. And the other guy who is still charging down the path, he makes his way towards Kolos. And he does the same thing, scimitar in hand. He attacks with a 14 to hit. It's not going to hit.
Nope.
Second attack was an 18, so that one's probably going to hit you for 7 points of slashing damage.
18?
Yep.
That misses.
Oh yeah, you have the shield, huh?
It would have missed even without the shield.
All right, beautiful. So
Yeah.
So that brings up Hector.
I'm just gonna do the same thing. I just got another guiding bolt for this. Whoop, hold on. This dude right here.
All right.
See how this goes.
Last one
Whoops.
went good.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
This time, not so much.
Oh,
Actually, this time these guys are hidden.
those guys are hidden.
Yeah, so...
Well, I mean, I would have shot at the dude next to Haas.
All right, cool.
Either way, it's gonna miss, but... and that's it. That's it for me on this one.
Okay, Haas, he tries to fight this guy back. He swings his scimitar at him. Yeah! With a 20, not natural, but
Nice.
For 7 points of slashing damage, and you see him just bring his sword right down through this guy. Oh, he had a spear. He was different. What's a spear? Is a D8, isn't it? It's a D6.
Yeah, let's see.
It's versatile. It's a D8 by hand. So he's got two hands on the spear, and Vitoris and you kind of like look over, and you can like hear this like bloodthirsty rage on Haas. He's like, ah! And he just stabs the spear right through this other goblin and kicks his lifeless body back into the bushes. And he has a second attack, so he's gonna come running back down and attack the guy that is currently engaged with Yuri. This time he's gonna miss though with a 6. Very shitty. All right, go ahead, Yuri.
So Yuri glances down at his wound from this goblin and notices a little bit of blood and draws his axe back and lets out his own little juka grunt as he strikes down on the goblin.
Nice. It's gonna miss though, unfortunately.
And as he misses, he uses the momentum to follow back around with another swing.
Oh yeah, Yuri, do something.
And misses again.
This is even worse. Typical Yuri, overconfident.
At least I got my grunt out.
That's true. That probably helped with something.
And on that note, I will end my turn.
All right, so now there's...
I tried.
Those... They can't all be jumps.
All right, so which ones do I see?
So
This one?
Yep, so that guy, they're in combat over there, melee combat. So I think the only ones that you don't see are the ones on the left-hand side of the screen. Those guys are hidden up in the bushes, but everybody else you see.
All right. Well then.
And this one here is technically your friend, but I know that doesn't really matter to Snouders, but just saying.
I mean, things happen. So I'm gonna run over into these bushes and like dive into them, and close one eye and point my finger at this guy.
Okay.
I need to make an intelligence saving throw.
All right, let's see what he's got for intelligence. And he has no... So he rolls a 12. So that is going to fail.
Give you 8 damage.
All right. You see him kind of like reach back, grab his head. He's not quite dead yet, but he looks hurt.
And minus 1d4 from the next saving throw.
Okay.
Bonus action. I'm going to have this thing move. It's 30 floaty feet. Oop, can't be on top of someone else. Just check out. What's up, guys?
Does it blow up a fireball?
Does it what?
Does it blow up when it got fireball?
No.
Oh, no.
It's like a specter. It's just like a transparent nothingness.
Like a mini-me.
Like
Mini you.
Like a little ghost, but it doesn't actually look like Snouther's. He's like a
No,
little,
it's-
he's like a little old man, right?
A little dude that has like a staff and a book, and you see runes like on his backpack. But it's tiny. It's literally like tiny. And that's my turn.
Nice. Megla, you're up again.
Now, is this a guy? Is this an enemy here?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here.
Javelin.
20. Yep, I will use my speed to move over around here. I will rage first, then use my javelin.
All right, so you can't. You have to make a melee attack with rage. I thought it was just.
Is it not?
I thought it was just.
I thought a
strength
javelin
check,
was
but-
considered a.
Yeah, but
a
if you look
melee
at rage, it actually says. Yeah, but if you're gonna throw, it's a ranged weapon. It's not a melee weapon anymore.
Right. Well, okay.
Even though-
I'm still gonna rage anyway.
Okay, well, if you use your
I know it
rage,
won't
you're
hit.
gonna
I
lose
know
it
it
though.
won't.
And you don't get
True,
the
but I
bonus
do
damage.
get my abilities. I do get my abilities though. The bear.
I think if you don't melee attack, you lose it, right?
Yeah, you have to make an attack or get hit.
Well,
It'll stay up because he's attacking, but it.
right, it'll be gone by your next.
Well, I'm
turn.
looking at Path of the Totem Warrior here.
Let me see.
What are the abilities for the bear? Actually, no, it would be pointless. So I'm not gonna rage.
Let's
Since
see. So
there's
your
not really
rage
a
lasts
lot
it
around.
ends early if you're knocked unconscious, or if your turn ends and you haven't attacked a hostile creature since your last turn, or taken damage since then.
But I wasn't really doing it for points. I was doing it
To be badass. That's why.
and
That's
to
why.
get my
Why
give
I
them
do it.
resistance.
I, if I were you, I wouldn't. But
Yeah, I'm not going to. I See, so I'm gonna use the javelin.
okay,
Throw it right through its face.
nice. It definitely spears right through him, and he falls over dead.
Okay, so that's my. I'm gonna call it a move.
All right, Colas.
Okay. I can't see the guys on the left, right?
Right. You know that.
But
you
I-
know they're over there, but you don't know technically where
Where?
they are. Yeah.
Alright. And then on the guys on the right, I can see them though.
Yeah, you can see the one that's kind of like back in the bushes a little bit. You can see the movement back there, and you do see the one that's kind of like in the middle between Yuri and Haas.
Okay.
And he looks like a
Uh.
badass.
I'm just gonna hawk a javelin over there at him. At the guy in the middle here.
Okay.
For 21. No. 10. Sorry. Disadvantage.
Yeah, it's gonna miss then.
Alright. Can I throw another one? Am I allowed to throw two in one turn?
Oh,
Or is it melee only for the extra attack?
I don't know actually. I think you could probably make two. I think it just says you make two attacks. I don't think it specifies, does it? Melee, right?
Alright. No, I'll throw another javelin at him
All right.
for 15.
It's also gonna miss.
Awesome. That ends my turn.
That looked just like my turn was.
It's all good.
It seemed like it was gonna be cool. But...
Yeah.
All right, Vitoris.
I move up there and I go to shoot this guy. In the face.
Right in the fucking face.
Wow. So hostile.
With a 9.
God damn it.
It misses. Completely misses.
20, not natural?
The 20's going to hit.
For 15 points of damage.
Nice. So, yeah, while he's busy attacking you just kind of walk up the side of him. You shoot him in the side of the face.
Fuck him.
He's dead.
Yes!
Nice.
Blood, like, covers the side of my face. I fucking love it.
Okay. So, let's see. After that, the remaining goblins here pop back out of the bushes, and they both take shots at Vasen.
Don't do it.
16 with one of them.
Misses.
That's going to miss, right? Yeah. And a 12 with the other.
Misses.
They're both going to attempt to hide back in the bushes. With a 14, so those guys are hidden unless you guys go searching for them on the left-hand side. What's that?
If my passive perception is 16, can I still see them or not?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you can
Sweet.
see them.
Yeah, I was about
They
to say,
rolled a 14.
my passive is 16 also.
Okay, so yeah, you
Oh.
guys both see them, both of them. So let's see, that's those guys. This guy dead. The guy that was fighting Yuri, the one that disengaged, he decides that he no longer wants to fight, and so he just kind of takes off running through the jungle. Not all goblins are warriors. Yeah, and that's it. That brings back Vasen.
Mother trucker. I see these fuckers over here, so I try to like. Is this like a steep end jump here to get down, or is this pretty much same level?
It's pretty much the same level, yeah.
Yeah, I just like slide down, run over here. I can't make it all the way.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult terrain.
And get to like the bottom.
Do you have a javelin?
No.
Yeah, some darts.
I have the dodge action.
Oh,
Well, it works.
I thought you were gonna use those darts I gave you.
Seems like that question comes up a lot. All right, so I'm assuming you're just going to dodge, end your turn, let it bring up a heck.
Yep.
Mostly just Josh said that the darts never get used.
I know. I'm just gonna use them. It's fine.
Give them back.
I have them. I use them just when I want.
That's fair.
I'm not meant to throw things.
That's fair.
Unless it's shade. He throws shade.
I'm just gonna stand where I am and throw out a third guiding bolt at this dude here. Just saw Vasen go feel the guy. Hey, 16.
Right, that will hit that guy.
Nice. And now that most of the people are gone, I'm gonna start like slowly walking up in this direction.
Yeah, and that guy actually, you did enough damage to just one shot that guy.
Sick. That's it.
That's Haas's turn. He looks pissed that he didn't get to kill that guy that Vitoris took out. Did I accidentally delete him off the map?
I still see him.
See him.
Where is he?
Right in front of 2 spaces above me.
That's our.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong guy. Yeah, so he is going to. He probably doesn't see those guys over there, so he's just gonna, I don't know, walk back toward this area. He's kind of just checking you guys. He doesn't really have any agenda. Go ahead, Yuri.
I'm just same thing. I'm gonna move back here, kind of follow behind him, and
Regroup.
yeah. I mean, as far as I feel, Yuri thinks he's out of combat, being that I can't see anything, you know.
Right. Okay. Snobblers.
So,
Yeah. So you can't see those guys either. I forgot you.
So I'm going to take my bonus action and basically just search pattern, wander this guy, even though I have no idea if anyone's even over there still. I assume they died, but whatever. They're not getting the other side. And I'll expend half my movement and stand up and be like, "Are they gone?"
Nice.
It's not unless you see anyone. And that's my turn.
Okay, Meglar, what are you doing here?
Well, Meglar doesn't really see much going on, so he's just gonna walk right up towards this last guy he shot, and just retrieve his javelin back. Can he find it?
Oh yeah, he gets stuck in his chest.
All right, I'm just gonna rip it right out of him.
Gnarly.
And that's my turn.
All right, Kolos.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down here to this falcon, pull out my javelin, and then that's my turn.
Okay.
Nothing else to do.
Right, Vitoris.
I'm gonna wander back towards the middle. I guess hold my action. If I see a goblin, I'll try and take a shot.
All right, sounds good. The remaining goblins, they disengage and run off into the bushes, never to be seen again.
Bitches.
You think you hear crying in the distance. All right, so essentially that ends our combat encounter.
Nice.
Yeah, so Haas, he kind of like regroups with you guys back into this little clearing, and he just kind of looks around at everybody. And he's like, oh, okay. He's checking over, looking for holes.
He got missed by the fireball, right? It didn't quite get to him.
Yeah, he didn't get hit by the fireball. He did take an arrow, I think.
Honestly, Snodlers has seen better days.
If there's still any like smoldering embers going from the fireball, I'll run up and use control flames to put those out.
Okay.
Keep the whole thing from burning down.
So Haas, he kind of looks over at you guys that are regrouping with him. He's like, yes, Darmuk tribe, very dangerous. We better warriors, though.
I didn't realize there was another tribe out here.
Oh, many tribes. Juka, not only tribe.
Oh. Must have been the language barrier. I thought there was only the Juka. My bad.
So did we see only the other tribe when we went to do the slave stuff? And I rolled insight. I don't know if that's what you wanted, but
yeah, you only saw his tribe, the Juka tribe. They're all wearing those similar like necklaces and things.
Thank you.
This is the first time any of you guys have seen these, let's say, more savage-like goblins.
All I know is Yuri's pissed he didn't get to kill anything.
Wait, you didn't kill anything, did you?
I didn't even get to hit anything.
Sorry.
Dude, I killed like 2 things.
Snodlers assumes he killed something.
I got a little exercise dashing around.
You probably needed it though.
Yeah, that is true.
You can always action surge too if you're up there and you're just missing and you want to just throw a couple more haymakers.
A couple more misses.
I just forgot his name. Haas. We just good to keep going or?
Yes, I'm good. Just little scrape. And he looks down at his like bleeding elbow and he's good to go. Follow me. And so at this point, if you guys don't have anything else you want to do,
I just want to run over and see if I can find the 2 javelins I missed.
I still have
like, straight up.
The one that went straight up went into the hawk or falcon, whatever. I already recovered that one.
yeah,
Alright.
make an investigation check and see if you can find your missing ones.
Yeah,
Yep, they're gone. They're in the bushes somewhere.
that's fine. All right.
I still have one missing. Can I?
Yeah, you can do the same
Make-
thing.
All right.
If he fails, can you find Yuri's?
Well, if he fails, Vasa knows me another javelin.
What?
What the fuck?
He's got some darts you could have.
I got a corroded axe you can have.
Oh yeah, we never fixed that, did we?
I used to have a corroded javelin.
If this one's wearing pants, I want to search his pockets.
Okay.
Nautilus has an ink pen you can borrow.
All right, you said investigation.
Yeah, make an investigation check and. All right, so Meglar, you walk around in the bushes for a little bit, and you do find your javelin.
Wait.
And Vitoris, you search through his pockets and stuff. He doesn't really have pants, but he's definitely got like a loincloth, and he doesn't really have any belongings on him.
I don't want to search his loincloth.
He does have like this really interesting like satchel that has like some sort of like small, almost like a mouse or like a hamster sort of things. They don't look alive. They're like little dead creatures in a satchel. And he also has a chain shirt on, if that's of goblin size, if that's any interest of you, which also stands out compared to the rest of them, which are all wearing just a loincloth.
Put it on.
I'm too tall. Might fit you, Yuri.
I'll try to squeeze that bastard on if it'll fit.
Well, I'll take his pouch off and I'll go over and ask Haas about it, see what he knows about them carrying around dead small animals.
And he looks and he says, he points down at the dead falcon on the ground. That's what it
Makes
eats.
sense.
These are bird tamers.
You
Many-
guys got any?
Many birds here in Kaza-Dur.
Let's eat them.
So Haas like agrees. He like shakes his head and walks over to the falcon and picks it up and just like bites into it.
You want the rodents too for dessert?
He looks, shakes his head. He's like, no, gross.
All right, I'll just I guess toss a pouch on the ground.
Man of class.
Even goblins have standards.
That's right.
I'm good to go. I still have passed out trace up for. I mean, it lasts for I think an hour. So how long that fight lasted?
That fight probably only lasts like a good 10 minutes. I mean, probably in combat it was only 6 seconds around. We only went like 4 rounds, but afterwards, I mean, you guys search for javelins and kind of walk around a little bit. So it's only been a good 10 minutes.
Gotcha. So we've got another 50 minutes of stealth if you guys want to push on.
So, just out of curiosity, we're going to this volcano just because you guys want to see a volcano? I find that to be a little ridiculous.
You see volcanoes all the time.
Oh, Oh, but who wants to see a volcano?
Gary, there's treasure.
Well, if there's treasure, that's a different story.
I'd rather get some payback on a gang back when we get back to Seaton.
We're not going back to Seaton for it.
I was going to say, Seaton? What are you talking about, Seaton? So you can abandon us again?
Yeah, what the hell happened when
I
you
got
were
a gang to kill that stole at least over 2,000 gold from me.
Ooh. Ouch.
A lot of gold.
How much gold you got now?
Like 250.
What'd they do? Seduce you?
No, they fucked me and that one guy soda.
That means they seduced you.
Nautilus is confused by this language.
Right.
Snozzer's like, I thought I knew common, maybe not.
So,
But no, some gang attacked us back on when we were in Seaton. And the next day I woke up, all that gold was gone after they kicked our asses. Of course, Sodaj was no good ally at all.
It was probably him. Do you want me to kill him when we get back there?
So is
I don't
Sodaj
know
like?
if it was him.
So is he like?
The other guy seems to be more likely the thieves.
So the Sodaj, is he like your boyfriend or something?
He saved my ass 3 times.
Nautilus nods and is like, sounds about right.
Oh well. Congratulations on your new relationship. Whenever you're ready, Haas.
So I'm
Just watch
assuming
where you're
you guys are talking
crossbow.
while walking through the forest.
Mhm.
And I want to ask Meglar why he's been looking sickly lately. Something wrong, buddy?
I don't know, man. For some reason, I can't get enough of this stuff here.
What do you mean, stuff?
Just stuff. It's jerky.
Jerky?
This Meglar just reaches into the jar and just eats another piece of jerky.
The fuck's wrong with that guy?
Why would he keep eating jerky that makes him sick?
This
Fucking-
keeps me well.
Fucking orcs.
Yeah, what would you know?
All right, so after another hour or so into the forest, you start reaching like early noon-ish sort of time. You probably travel a couple more miles, and at this point, you can start feeling the real heat of Kaza-Dur, the jungle, start making you feel uncomfortable, and you finally get this feeling of a little bit of a relief as you start approaching yet another large clearing. You feel this kind of cool air kind of like brush in through the trees, and it's actually quite refreshing. But as you stand there getting closer and closer to this clearing, you can see through the trees the site of this massive crater in the ground. It spans about 50 feet in diameter, and along with that cold breeze kind of like blowing in your face, you kind of hear the sound of like soft humming, and your eyes shifts about 40 feet to your right. You see a young man sitting on a log. He's by a small tent. He has a book and a quill in his hands, and he's humming a rather like upbeat tune to himself. And,
Human?
yeah, from what you can tell, he is just a young human man, I guess you'd say. Probably in his teens, maybe early 20s.
I bet he's got the treasure.
But as you approach this area, Haas, he starts getting a little nervous, and you notice that he kind of takes a step back as you approach this area of this massive crater.
What's going on, Haas?
Strange magic here. Not for the Juka. We go around the crater of Kaza-Dur.
What kind of magic?
Magic I not know.
Some of us cast magic.
Good for you.
So
We go around crater. Shall we go around now?
So I'm going to cast Detect Magic and Awaken Spellbook it so that it comes out. It's a ritual, but it comes out at its normal casting time, which I can do once a day. What type of magic? What class of magic spell is it?
Gotcha. So you could tell what. Okay. So you actually don't detect any magic.
Nice. So can I take a... I understand he's like trying to push us to leave, but can I just take a quick investigation run?
You sure can. I mean, so you guys are all standing on the edge of this crater, and you see the young guy. His back is to you as he's kind of sitting in his little campsite, and he's just minding his business, kind of singing a little tune to himself.
I just look back at Hector. Is this a volcano?
I don't think so. I think this is a crater. Haas, we're going to take a second and check this out, if you don't mind. You can wait here if you want. We'll come back for you.
Okay, I'll make sure it's safe. I'll stay here.
Cool.
As we approach this guy, I want to cast Divine Sense.
All right, go ahead and post it up. Oh, you did. Okay. All right, so as you kind of like make your way into the opening here, you don't detect really anything that would give you the sense of evil.
Right. Or powerful good.
Or powerful good, yeah. It's kind of just a neutral feeling.
Right.
As we walk up, I'll just say, "Hello there."
Oh. He turns around and looks. He drops the book to the ground and he jumps up off of the log. And he's like, "Oh, hello, good day."
Good morning, afternoon, day, whatever.
I'd like to be approaching as well.
What are you doing out here all by yourself?
As he like looks and there's like more of you like pouring out of the trees, he looks a little nervous and he kind of takes a step back and he goes, "Oh, are you explorers like myself?"
Yeah,
I'm armed, by the way. And you look down, he has like a dagger on his hip.
Hector. Nice to meet you.
Thomas. Pleased to meet you.
I just come walking out with my axe in my hand. Maybe more trying to be intimidating than no intention of attacking him.
Roll an intimidation check then. Let's see how intimidating you are.
One.
Ha.
That's how it normally is.
So, yeah, you walk out of the jungle looking kind of badass with like your axe on your shoulder, and you definitely catch him like kind of like nervously eyeing you, but he stands there. He's like, oh, there's quite a few of you, huh?
I'm just muttering to myself, where's the treasure? That's all Yuri's caring about. He heard Boston say treasure, so that's all.
Boston just goes, Hector, I shouldn't have said nothing.
So Detect Magic lasts about 10 minutes, I think. Is it 10 minutes? It's a while.
10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to walk to the edge of the crater and then look back and be like, Snautilus is here with a guide. Are you not here with a guide?
Oh, no, I don't need a guide. I've researched this area for many years. But be careful near the crater. There's a large hole in the center there that could be very dangerous. I haven't gone down there myself yet, but I plan to at some point today, maybe tomorrow.
Okay. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 22 years old.
You say you're
how
from
old are
around
you?
here?
24.
Oh.
I send fake Snottler. I send the token down there.
Okay. So he can see basically what you see, right?
It has its own dark vision and its own senses.
But it can like relay. It doesn't relay.
Telepathically relay.
Okay. Yeah. So your mini me, he goes down into this thing as it starts going down. You can see, what can you see in the dark? 120 feet.
It, I think, only has 60, and it cannot be more than 300 feet from me.
Okay, so it starts going down into the darkness, and you're just seeing this dim light of nothingness. This a deep tunnel that goes straight down, a pit that goes straight down at this moment as he's kind of descending down into the darkness.
Yep. Thank you. And do I detect any magic or anything on his tent, person, anything else?
You do not.
Snodler just wanted everyone to know the goblin lied. There was no magic.
Okay.
So what brings you all to Kaza-Dur? Is it the interesting geography of this place? That is what brought me here.
We're here for Grimsday.
The Grimsday celebration, yes. I know that's a rather fun festival. I haven't attended one, but...
Well, we were here for Grimsday. Now we're here for treasure, so where's the treasure?
I don't know, treasure. I'm not a treasure seeker, but there has been lots of tales of great treasure on Kaza-Dur.
Hey, Yuri.
Point us in that direction.
Hey, Yuri. Maybe don't let every person you meet know that we're here looking for a secret hidden treasure. Maybe we're the only people who should be looking for it.
No one said it was hidden or secret. You guys didn't tell me.
He just here. Like, if it wasn't hidden, somebody else would have taken it by now.
Well, personally, I don't know exactly where the treasure is, but I can tell you the story of the heart of Kaza-Dur. It's rumored that long ago a powerful sorcerer had to be stopped by the gods. Specifically, the goddess of magic, Mistra, had to stop this sorcerer from becoming too powerful. He could target spells and all throughout multiple planes of existence and scry on beings that were thousands of miles away. And his power was so great, he was slain, and his still beating heart is rumored to be imprisoned in the heart of the volcano, and he kind of points up to the north, where you can just see a little bit of the top of the volcano from where you guys are at.
Well, that sounds terrifying.
Snodlers is very interesting.
As I grip my axe tighter, I just say, I don't believe this guy at all.
Snodlers believes him. Most of this stuff is based in fact.
Now, I have to say, it seems very dangerous. I haven't made my way to the volcano yet, which I hope to, but I don't think I would attempt to do that. It seems like the volcano, I've been studying for many years that I think it is imminent that it will probably erupt at some point, and by my calculations, it may be soon.
How many years have you been studying?
Oh, I spent, let me see, and he starts thinking, and he grabs his book, and he's like, well, I studied at Candlekeep Citadel for probably a good 10 years or so. I've learned all sorts of things there, and then I decided to see some of this for myself, so I became an explorer, I suppose, an adventurer, but I can say this adventure has been pretty dull so far after I made my way from Grimsby to here a few days ago.
Oh, big travels.
The Wanderers and Snodlers are going to the volcano. Perhaps you will come with us.
I do not think that's wise. I'd just like to stay here and probably investigate this crater. I don't know if you noticed, there's some sort of pit in the center that goes very deep and dark. I'd like to know where it goes and learn more of this.
Snarlers is looking.
Well, what do you think, Maglar?
I ain't going in no goddamn fight. Volcano.
You think we should? Maybe you should throw him down in the in the crater.
That's not a bad idea.
Now, I have to warn you. I'm sorry, I'm withholding information. I feel like this is some information that you would very much like to know. Why I do not wish to go to the volcano.
I told you he was lying.
Well, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. The legends have it that a great winged beast guards the volcano, and it could be a fool's errand for anybody to try to go in there and look for the ancient beating heart of Kaza-Dur.
Something's guarding. That must mean they're probably guarding treasure. Be my guess.
It is rumored that things like this, I've studied dragons to do guard things of great value and power. So perhaps maybe going there wouldn't be wise and upsetting things that could potentially kill us all. Just throwing that out there.
Snarlers isn't that worried.
Well, me, Thomas, I am kind of worried.
Thomas, have you met Maglar?
I can't say I have. Hello, Meglar. Good day.
What's up? What do you want?
But nothing. I'm just being polite. Where I'm from, these pleasantries like this are crucial in making bonds of friendship.
I'm whispering in Meglar's ear. He's lying.
So you said you were from Candlekeep?
Yes.
Of course, he really does like dragons.
I'm not originally from Candlekeep, but my parents, they were quite, I should say, wealthy. I do not mean to brag or seem out of line here, but they spared no expense to give me the best education possible, and they sent me from our small village outside of Waterdeep to go and learn as much as I can from the great readers of Candlekeep.
We were looking to go to Candlekeep.
It's an amazing, beautiful place. I highly recommend anybody who is seeking knowledge of any sort. You can learn anything there.
Yeah, we heard it was tricky to get into. How do you got any recommendations?
Oh, it's Citadel of Candlekeep is important to bring knowledge to help further the library there. So bringing works of originality is of utmost importance, and being humble amongst the brotherhood of the Citadel is also important. And he kind of looks over at Yuri and Meglar.
Snarlers suddenly walks forward. Is like, Snarlers has been writing a book. I have original works. I'd like some information and knowledge.
Oh,
Snarlers might be interested.
So have I. Maybe we should compare notes.
Actually, you could probably help Snarlers fill in his book, honestly. So maybe that's a good idea.
And so he starts coming closer to you, Snarlers, and he's holding out this journal, and he's flipping through it, and you see all this beautiful drawings of the scenery and things that he's seen while he's spent his short time here in Kaza-Dur, along with pages of explanations and the culture, and he shows you some of his artwork, and he's like, this is my main interest. The geography and the flora and the fauna of this region are just quite remarkable. It's nothing I have ever seen before.
Snarlers agrees this place is quite interesting, but honestly, everywhere Snarlers has gone has looked completely different and completely crazy, honestly.
Oh, I can imagine being someone like yourself from the Underdark. I presume, right? You are a gnome, a rock gnome.
Snoddles is a deep gnome, close.
Oh, well, it was.
Cousin.
You're not the first gnome I've met. The Candlekeep has races of all sorts and interesting people to meet there. I think you would rather enjoy it.
Snoddles would very much enjoy it. Would you like to see my work?
Oh yes, please.
So Snoddles takes out his book and opens it up and shows it to him. And as he's cycling through it, do you mind if I say this?
Go ahead.
As he's cycling through it, you see his face go from like super excited to like concerned to like mundane to like kind of like upset.
Does he see the thing that says humans don't like poison?
He definitely would have that in there.
Yes. So Thomas kind of like looks over and he's like, "Oh, it's a little dark."
I was expecting nothing but dick pics.
Technically, not too far off from reality.
I think we should kill this guy.
No, Snoddlers. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Snoddlers thinks.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you, Thomas, about the local flora. I've been doing herbalism stuff. Is there anything interesting around that we could take a look at?
Oh, there's all sorts of very interesting flowers that I've personally have been seeking out myself. If you have the time to search for them, there's several interesting things that somebody that's into herbalism would definitely be interested in. There's stuff. There's I've been researching this very, very rare flower called the Soulflower. Here in Grimsby, I know the people that I have talked to have had a lack of medicine because they are not skilled in finding these things in the jungle. But the Soulflower can be found. It has large white petals with wispy tendrils coming out of the center. It's supposedly, from the research that I've learned in Candlekeep, is that this very rare flower will revive people from an unconscious state, like instantaneously.
Sounds useful.
Some of the things I've heard are the locals talking about the Goblin tribes. They like to use types of roses. There is the Nying rose. I have learned that the word Nying is means gift in Goblin. It's very interesting.
Do you have pictures? Snoddlers knows of a goblin, and I go run back into the bushes to get I forgot his name, Hedwig.
Jesus. Hoss?
Close enough.
Hedwig's in seat. Or
Yeah.
Saltmarsh.
He's Saltmarsh. She's our henchman there.
So Thomas is excited, and he like flips right to, like through the pages, and he holds up to you, Snoddlers, like the page of the drawing he made of this rose, and it's and he shows you. He's like, you could find this rose. It's a dark red in color. It stands about 2 feet tall and has large thorns at the base of it.
Snoddlers is just nodding, as he walks away and goes down to find our goblin friend and bring him back.
So like Haas is kind of like dragging his heels a little bit. No, too close. No. But like he stands like literally like on the edge, like not stepping foot onto the crater, and we'll put him on there. He's standing on the edge, and he's like, "Far enough."
Have you seen these flowers? And I point to the book and kind of usher the kid to come forward.
He just nods. Yes.
Snoddlers would like to see them. Are they on our way?
Maybe.
Good enough for me.
So Thomas is like, oh, this is one of the goblins. Oh, it's interesting. And he like goes through like a blank page, and he's like, you can tell he's like sketching the goblin. He's quickly like trying to draw him. He's like, oh, this is excellent. I am so glad I met you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Oh, I meant no offense, Mr. Gnome.
Snodulus took none.
Oh, so, back to the flora that you spoke of. The only other thing that I have found in my research is the Vaz Hawk rose, and then Haas looks over and he goes, Vaz Hawk, and Thomas is like, see, yeah, my goblin is really picking up. This means death in Goblin. And as far as I know, this rose looks very similar to the Nying rose. So be very careful if you were trying to pick the two. Do not get them mixed up. I'd hate for somebody to be poisoned when they were trying to seek medicine.
Yeah, it's like the boysenberry thing. Don't worry about it.
But if you don't mind, maybe your goblin friend could stay here with me for a few days, and we could practice my goblin.
Snodulus thinks you can come with us.
No, I really have no interest in going to a volcano and finding some sort of giant dragon that would like to eat me. No, please, that does not sound like fun.
You don't want the DM to talk to himself for like half the campaign?
I implore you, maybe we should all just stay here. There's probably much research we can do in this
Snodulus thinks there is, but I'm not sure that this is where Snodulus needs to be.
Our guide is terrified of this hole for some reason, so it's unlikely he'll stay here with you.
You're lucky he's even still standing here.
Oh, well, I suppose I'll find another goblin friend to learn from, but
just be careful. Not all of them are friendly.
Oh, good to know. I heard there's many tribes here, but I just assumed they were all friendly.
No. Also, how did you get here? Like, safely?
Well, I just walked through the jungle. You just have to know how to, handle yourself in situations like, know where the quicksand is and know where the venomous snakes are. And all of my research has really helped me become more worldly.
That's very impressive. Just also look out for leopards and stuff, because they'll get you.
I have not seen them. I have seen some rather very large birds fly over, but I just stick to the trees and keep a low profile, and so far so good.
Here's to hoping.
So, yeah. Well, if you don't mind, I guess I'm just gonna finish my my work here. If you guys maybe want to help me investigate this hole while you're here before you rush off for fortune and glory.
Snodulus has time, but not necessarily want.
Snothers, what'd your little thing see?
A hole. It didn't go very far.
Oh, how are we supposed to investigate any further?
No, I mean, Snodulus can cast fly on you if you would like.
Nope.
He turns and starts looking to Yuri.
Let's throw him down there. Maglar, let's do this.
All right, go ahead, throw him down. Your idea.
So
Who are you throwing?
We're gonna throw that guy down there.
Whoa! This is let's talk about this, please.
Well, how else are we gonna know what's at the bottom of the crater?
Well, I have rope,
Yeah,
So
rope.
Snodulus literally just takes a run out and like cannonballs in.
Yes. It's
You have rope?
I like it. Roll a new character.
yes. This is the pit of Carcoon. You are now in the belly of the Sarlacc.
I'm okay with this.
You are dead.
That's okay. I have a new character.
Oh my god.
Hello, I am a new character.
Okay, so as you start cannonballing down into this pit, it goes deep, about 200 feet deep, straight down.
Ooh. I pass my little tiny bright lit thing.
And before you get to the bottom, you cast Fly and brace yourself as you kind of descend and down into like a packed dirt cavern. It's not overly large. Like the walls are like very nicely, neatly packed, smooth, and it's probably about 40-foot diameter, like a circular cavern at the bottom of this 200-foot pit. As you kind of stand there, there's nothing to be seen in there except for there's a large rock face that's part of the pit or the cavern, and on this there's like a crude kind of I guess I take that back. It's not crude. It's an intricate, beautiful painting of a large volcano and a chamber at its base, and there's beautiful, brilliant light kind of glowing from the base of the volcano. And
So I take out my book and manifest my pen and start trying to copy it down the best I can. What type of roll would you like me to do for accuracy or completeness?
just do an intelligence check. If there's any, I'm trying to think if you could add any of your modifiers to it.
Yuri just yells from the top of the crater, "Snodlers!"
Snodlers is good.
Kind of echoes up and takes a minute. But yeah, you get a pretty good gist of the painting on there. You might not get all the details, but you get the basics.
Cool. Can I take a quick hasted gander around the room for anything else, or like kicking dust and dirt and
Sure.
like scraping my fingernails into the dirt packed to see if there's any parts that are looser than others?
Yeah, with the 25, you start kind of looking around, and you start noticing these large scales that are kind of like pressed down into the hard dirt, and they're like grayish colored scales.
Everything right now is gray because all I have is dark vision.
It's true. Well, so they're definitely gray, and they are like reptilian-looking scales. But also, like with the 25, you start looking around, you find signs of these large, like bird feathers, or kind of like this reddish color. I mean, gray feathers.
All right. Can I take out a dagger and try to pry up one of the scales and pocket a feather?
You sure can. You don't even roll a check for that. You kind of like stick down the dagger down there, and it takes a second just to kind of pry it up because the scale itself is quite massive. It's like about 2 feet in length, and but as you peel it up, it's somewhat like malleable, and it's you manage to put it in your bag. And the feather is the same thing. It's like a large, like 2-foot feather. It's very soft and. Yeah, you grab them, put them in your bag.
Now that I think there's some crazy shit going on in here, I'm going to use the Gem of Seeing.
Oh, nice. I forgot what this does. I give True Sight.
Which basically would be illusions, other planar bullshit. And I think that's pretty much it.
Let me see here. Don't want to chip you on anything that you might see.
True sight. Monster with true sight can, up to a specific range, see normal and magical darkness, see invisible creatures and objects, automatically detect visual illusions, succeed on saving throws against them, perceive the original form of a shape changer, and can see into the ethereal plane.
Yeah, so you're kind of like looking down through here. You don't see anything magical per se, but like while you're like really being able to see investigation wise now, you've seen some like large footprints of this. It's like reptilian looking with a sharp claw. It has like three toes on these prints that they're kind of like printed into the wall where like if you were just taking a first glance, even with that 25 roll, you might not have noticed. But now that you're like really seeing like this amazing detail of this cavern, that there's definitely some sort of large reptilian sort of creature down here. But other than that, there's no portals or dimensions or anything magical down here.
No witches that are hiding in the ethereal plane waiting?
No.
All right. With that, I guess is the footprint larger than my book in size?
Yeah, so size-wise, it's quite large. It's probably about 3 foot, 4 foot long.
Way bigger than my book. So I'm going to lay down next to it and try to get like a rough estimate of it.
It's the size of one Snobbler.
Well, I mean, Snobbler is 3'3".
Yeah, so it's probably like 3 to 4 foot.
All right. So with that, I'm going to stand up and fly upward, but I fly upward and I miss the hole because I wasn't looking. I was looking down at the footprint and I hit the ceiling. So you hear like a giant thud echoing up, and then no, Snarla's head, and then I zoom out of the crater and land.
Yeah, and you like pop up out of there, and Thomas comes like running over, and he's like, "Oh, what did you see down there?"
Well, Snarla saw a giant reptile footprint that was as large as Snarla's, with very large fangs.
A dragon.
How would a dragon fit in this hole?
It must be a dragon.
I take out the reptile scale and the feather. It's like Snarla's doesn't think dragons have feathers, do they?
Maybe a dragon ate something with feathers. I must write this down.
This feather would be very shitty, Snarla's things.
You do have a point there.
And then I open the book and show him my not crude but not great drawing of the not crude but actually pretty nice drawing.
So he said, I've seen this before. And he flips through his journal and he like goes to the back and he's like, this is a replica of it. This is what the scholars have told me. That is the volcano. But in his picture, it's got a little more details, and you can see a human heart with like a glow around it. Around it.
Snodler takes out his pen, and I'd like to try to. I don't remember if I can change color or something. I think I can. Like somehow annotate the changes in my book and mirror his to the best of my ability. Yeah. Snodler can copy this from you, right? Is that okay? We share?
He just hands you his book. He's like, please, Mr. Snodler, so help yourself. Sharing knowledge is one of life's greatest treasures.
Snodler agrees. If you're not learning, you're dying.
Oh, I like that. Can I have my book back, please? I need to write that down.
As soon as I'm... yeah, sure. I mean, I copy it and everything and hand it back. And then make sure to give him time with mine.
And he takes a look at yours and he's like, oh. And he kind of looks up and looks over at like Yuri. He's like, okay. And goes back to...
What the fuck?
Oh, interesting. You've had some interesting tales yourself, Mr. Snothers. And he hands you the book back. I can't believe there's a dragon down there. So it must fly from here and guard the volcano. Well, that's mystery solved.
How big is this hole?
So the hole is, let's see. The hole was about 50 foot in diameter, so it's about the same size as the chamber at the bottom.
So, what's a dragon?
No, a dragon is a large beast. Here, let me show you on page. I think it was like page 7. So he flips through his journal and he like
Pretty freaking early.
he holds it up to you. I've never seen one, but I've learned all about dragons in the Citadel.
What else can you tell us about dragons?
Well, they are big, mean. They can breathe fire or acid, or they have all sorts of crazy powers. They're very intelligent creatures. Many of them can use telepathy. Very dangerous. This is why I'm saying I feel like you guys aren't ready to go to the volcano and face a foe like this. I mean, I've only known you for a short time now, but I really would hate to see anything happen to any of you.
Eh.
I agree. I mean, I think we got more important shit to do than go to a volcano. But I'm a follower, not a leader. I'm a traveler.
Oh, that sounds like a good motto for a group or something.
It's not always under his breath says wanderer.
I'm gonna write that down. The Wanderers.
So Snodulus thinks that there's a very good mystery in the mountain, and I think that we're on the right path.
Well, it seems like I'm not gonna be able to stop you, but I can just wish you the best of luck, and perhaps our paths will meet again.
I look up dreamy eyes at Balson like, I'm doing what you want.
And if you ever make your way back to Candlekeep, maybe we'll run into each other there.
It's not a let's hope so.
You're not going to be here much longer?
No, as I say, I am fearing that the volcano was due for an eruption, so I feel it as my civic duty to mention this to the people of Grimsby, just in case the eruption were to, somehow destroy this entire island. But it's been on record 200 years ago that the volcano did erupt, and it took out about 10 miles of jungle. The eastern side of the island never quite recovered. Much of it is still rock. The closer you get to the base of the volcano, still has its own sense of beauty, but anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. But best of luck in your travels. I don't have much to offer you, but if you need to stay, you can hang out here with my tent and fire. I could hum you a couple of tunes that I know.
I think we're good. I mean, Yuri just holds his hand out. Nice to meet you. I'm glad I didn't have to throw you in the crater.
Yeah, me too. I'm very glad you didn't have to throw me in the crater.
Snothers, was there a cave all the way in there?
Snodulus really it was more like a tube.
There was no tunnels leading any which way after the bottom?
Snodulus didn't see any, no. It was just the mural and dragon scales embedded in the floor, some feathers, and that giant single footprint in a very large tube. It was very weird. Snodulus doesn't know how it would get there.
It's a dragon.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Snodulus doesn't think it's a dragon. Why would a dragon live in a tube? Are there tube dragons? I'm actually going to roll this.
Like as if you're asking him, or just like pondering yourself, thinking that.
How about both?
So Snodulus thinks there's two dragons now. That's for sure. And Thomas looks up. He's like, "Well, as far as I know, there could very well be, but many dragons seem to live solitary lives, from what I've learned. But maybe there's a pair of mating dragons, and maybe there's dragon babies inside the volcano. Well, that would definitely be of value. But
maybe Snodulus finds some delicious dragon eggs.
I suppose they would be quite delicious. But you won't catch me going anywhere near there, nor should you. Especially you, Snodulus. I've already grown quite fond of you.
Aw. Snodulus thanks you. I also enjoy your knowledge.
The rest of you seem like interesting people as well, but I hope to see you all again.
Maybe we'll see you in Candlekeep.
Take care of yourself, Thomas. Don't get dead.
Radio, and he goes back to sitting on his log, and he starts humming like really poorly.
What a strange fellow.
You ready to go, Haas?
Snodulus didn't notice anything different from him.
That tracks.
All right, so Haas looks at you guys and is like, "Yes, let's go now."
Sorry, Haas.
Haas, Snodulus is confused. What magic was here?
My
Snod-
people believe that this strange creatures come from this hole, a giant winged serpent.
Snodulus still doesn't think it's a dragon.
A dragon? I do not know. Big creature, big teeth, very dangerous.
With a long tail. Breathes fire.
I have never seen one. It is a tale of my people.
Fair enough.
Snodulus thinks you might see one today.
Oh, no. Haas go not in volcano.
Well, do we even have to go in the volcano? And I show him the map again.
He looks at the map. He's like, treasure in volcano. Haas not in volcano.
Well, the map shows it on the eastern side, not in volcano.
Map is not right.
You think the treasure's in the volcano?
You heard human.
Yeah.
We should bring Thomas. We'll throw him in the volcano to get the treasure.
I would really like to know how Yuri's brain works sometimes.
Or we can feed him to the dragon if the dragon attacks us.
That will bring us to the volcano.
To volcano. Has not go in volcano.
Wait, Snodulus, there are two volcanoes?
Two. One volcano. Has stay out of volcano.
If there's two dragons, there's probably two volcanoes.
Has not scared of dragons. Only volcanoes.
Snodulus thinks that's a fair thing. How do you fight a volcano?
Impossible.
Impossible.
All right, so you guys start skirting around the edge instead of just walking across where there's a visible path on the other opposite side of the crater. Haas makes you guys walk around through the jungle all the way around it to the other side.
Gotcha.
I'm okay with that.
Much safer this way.
I'm slowly following behind, wanting Maglar. Oh, sorry, wanting Maglar to tell.
Oh, sorry.
I forgot it's past midnight.
You didn't whisper.
What? wanting Maglar to tell us more about this jerky.
As we walk too, I'm gonna keep an eye out for these roses that he mentioned.
It's my jerky. It's all mine.
Snodulus is looking at his book.
Nobody's looking at the path.
So Hector, go ahead and make a perception check at disadvantage, though, because I mean,
Fair enough.
you're walking along the main path, and Haas kind of alluded to that it might not be on the path.
Only 11.
Yeah, so you don't really see much from what Haas described along the path that he's taking you on.
Okay.
So you guys end up walking for another couple hours, and it's well into the afternoon at this point. And you get to the point where Haas starts looking nervous again. You've seen this look on his face before, where something's bothering him. He starts watching the skies at this point, and he's looking up and constantly like sticking to the trees, and he's looking up. You guys all kind of take notice of this kind of nervous action of his, and as you get a little bit closer,
I do exactly what he's doing because I remember in the beginning when we first got there that they said about these fucking bird things stick by the trees.
And Yuri automatically goes on alert, looking for goblins.
Snodulus didn't hear anything about the trees, but he cast mage armor.
So as you guys are like reaching this, you're coming along this jungle path, and the jungle starts thinning out a little bit at this point, and you start seeing more and more these large rocks that are jutting out from the land. Definitely the terrain is changing the further north that you're getting. So like just up ahead of you guys, a couple hundred feet, is you start seeing this plateaued sort of like surface that goes kind of like as far as you can see, left and right, your east and west, and these plateaus are like these large, it's like a cliffside kind of in front of you, and it's not like a sheer cliff. It's like rocky handholds where it looks like kind of like stairs, but like very steep stairs, and they're kind of covered in all sorts of vines and grass and things like growing out from the sides of the rock. And as he's kind of like looking up and he's like shielding his eyes from overhead, all of a sudden this massive bird comes up over from in front of you at the top of this cliffside. Now this bird has a massive wingspan that is probably like 40 feet wide with its wings.
Is it the same color as the feather?
So this bird is black, and it has this massive sharp beak on it, and you can see its talons shining in the light as it just kind of like spreads its wings and it just swoops down directly in front of the party. And
Yuri just yells, "Dragon!"
Wait. Dragon!
Dragon money across your chin.
So what we're gonna do is we put you guys on this map, and you see the big bird up top.
But it's not yellow.
And
You're right.
so this thing comes swooping down, and who's gonna be where in this group? I know Haas is gonna be in the front. Who's walking up front with Haas? I know
Improvement's going to be a little way back.
I know this is the question I should have asked before I described this encounter, but
I'll be behind him again. That's fine.
Yeah, it probably seems before where I'll be right behind Kolos.
okay. Where did my Haas go? There he is.
Snodlers leans over and says, "Snodlers might need a little resting nap after this one."
So Haas is like up against these grove of trees here as you guys start approaching, and he's like again pointing up, and he's like, watch out. And this massive bird just, you see its wings flap open, and it just bolts, just drops down the side of this cliff. So by the way, this cliff is about 80 feet high, and this thing kind of like blocks out the sun, makes this large shadow over you guys as it kind of just swoops down in and attempts to pick up poor little Haas in his claws. So Haas. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, do I have time to cast a spell or not?
You have time.
No, I'm good.
I'm going to say... Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, as this thing swoops down, I want to cast... Whoops, hold on. I want to display.
Can I try and shoot it with just one?
No, you're going to have to roll... We're going to roll initiative in a second, but... Depending... will depend on what your initiative is. We'll see.
Okay. I say I can do this like in combat, or I can do it...
Yeah, we'll see if you guys can have like a round of like quick action if you roll good enough initiative. Because it's going to take a minute for this thing. It's not like the Falcons where it had like super speed. This thing's massive and it's flying. You guys see it kind of flying, just coming over the top of this cliff, and it's just soaring down on top of you where it's like, oh shit, there's nowhere to run. You know what's coming.
I rolled an 11.
All right, so Kolos and Haas are going to make some dex saving throws.
Grogle.
Oh, well, nice job, Kolos. Let me see what Haas rolls. Really, Haas? All right, so he is going to be the solo person to get grabbed by this thing, and it takes him up in the air with him, starts flying away. So he gets about... what's his flying speed? 60. So yeah, he gets about 60 feet in the air with Haas in his hands, and he's about between you guys and I'll just put him here and the cliffside. That was his action. He swoops down, grabs Haas, and at that point, as he grabs him, Kolos just manages to just kind of like duck out of the way just in time, where he doesn't grab a hold of him. And it's going to be Snodler's turn.
All right, fireball. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so Snodlers, you see this thing swoop down and take him with you, or Haas with him back up to his lair.
I don't know that I have any special ability for this other than...
Didn't wave goodbye to Haas.
Wait, it's Boston not on the board yet? Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm really that far over there.
Yeah.
If you
I'd
only
be over
had
in
a,
the trees.
God damn it!
if you only had a javelin,
Sorry.
No, you're good. You guys haven't fought a whole lot of giant flying creatures yet.
Well, it's also more about, like, the only thing I can think of for getting it down is stunning it, but fly is a touch spell, and I don't know if anyone else that can do anything against it.
Plus, would Haas survive a 60-foot drop?
If there's fly, you never know. How far do you fall in one turn?
Well, that's a good point.
I have no idea.
I don't know. In 6 seconds?
Pretty far.
Probably pretty far, yeah. Probably like 60.
Probably goblin terminal velocity after 40.
Right.
And I don't have feather fall or anything either, so I couldn't even like double that.
500 feet in 6 seconds.
Yeah. That's
I mean, he'll only be mostly in the ground.
peel him out of the ground.
We'll have a Haas darts.
Oh, he'll be sad because he'll make another crater.
Hey, bones!
That's how it was created.
All right, I'm going to hope someone has something else to do.
Let's see. DC 15. This thing probably doesn't have a whole lot of intelligence.
That's my hope.
Nope. He has a 9.
So 4 damage, and hopefully the next person that can do something with the saving throw gets -1d4 on it. And it's not birds. Tries to link with the bird. You can see him concentrating, and then he just ends up finishing the spell in waves.
Bye. All right, Colas.
At least he'll never go into the volcano. Snodless is sure of that.
I'm going to. Oh no, that's on the ground. Never mind. I was going to try to wall of water, but there's nothing for me to summon the wall of water up there.
No.
Never mind then. Well, there's no spells I could do. I'm gonna attempt the best that I can. How far up in the air is he?
He's 60 feet.
60 feet, so it doesn't matter if I move. I'm gonna attempt to hit his leg that's holding the goblin with the javelin.
Precision javelin
Oh my
throw at
God.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
What is that? Double disadvantage?
double disadvantage.
So should I make 2 attacks and we'll take the worst of all 4?
just
No.
throw it at disadvantage.
Oh.
It misses either way.
No, I'll throw one more. Screw it.
Come on, get a natural 1.
8/8.
Then.
Yeah, so a 10 just narrowly misses his foot, but it does hit his body, and he's gonna take some damage.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my.
It means it's a health point sponge.
Yeah, he's a big creature. And it's easy to might be easy to hit, but he's big.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. That brings up Vitoris.
He's 60 feet up in the air, right?
Yeah.
I'll run directly underneath it. Pull out my light crossbow. It's somewhere around here. And it just does the damage because fuck you, that's why.
I don't need to hit. It just here's the damage. It hits. So it's probably gonna be a 1. You know you're gonna shoot Haas.
Why do you gotta be like that? You don't know that.
Come on, let's prove me wrong. Try not to shoot Haas.
I like you kind of like you shot Yuri.
I've shot damn near everyone in the group.
Thanks for reminding me, Maglar.
Anytime.
So apparently Vitoris just does damage.
Light crossbow's broken.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fix it.
Now, when you say light, you're getting out your light crossbow, what is that opposed to?
Hand crossbow.
Which
Or
is
a heavier one?
a heavier one you have?
Yeah.
Why would you use the light one then?
It's like pulling out a
More range.
rifle compared to like a pistol.
Range.
Range.
light crossbow is a.
Oh my god, that sounded wet.
That was definitely
wasn't-
wet. I think your parents heard that, Megler.
Oh, did I wake him up? I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if they smelled it at that rate. Jesus.
Why is this not working?
The diaper.
Yes, the diaper.
Jesus.
No, my light crossbow's not showing up in my actions, and when I click on it in my inventory, it just does the damage. Go to
Is it
whoever's
equipped?
next.
No,
You're
just roll a d20 and then add your provision bonus and your strength modifier.
Well, you have to know how to play the game? Fuck that.
Oh, God, yeah. Hey, all right.
That'll be 16 damage.
16, yeah. Okay.
Because he picked up an ally.
Sucker.
And that'll be
He
my
fell right in my trap.
Okay. Hector. And Yuri up next.
Earth. Wait, what?
I said Hector with Yuri up next.
Okay. I'm just gonna cast Earthbind on him. It's strength saving throw. I think it's strength saving throw. Yeah, strength saving throw DC 14, and you got to do it with a negative D4.
Okay, so he rolls a 19, and let's subtract a d4.
It's not gonna matter.
2.
Yep. All right. Fuck.
Did you try Skybind? Because he's in the air. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll mark that spell off real quick before I forget. I'm going to use my bonus action to transform into my dragon form and run up 30 feet, kind of this way. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay, cool. Alright, Yuri, what do you want to do?
I have no idea. I guess I'm just gonna waste my turn again. I'm gonna dash up to this thing.
Skydash.
Boulder Dash.
Say that again.
What are you doing? So you're dashing underneath him.
Dashing underneath him. Yes.
Okay. Like ready to catch Haas.
Or ready to shove the Taurus out of the way.
Anything else you want to do?
No, that's it.
Okay. So that brings up Haas, who is in the clutches of him. He's gonna just try to stab at him. Yeah, so he like wiggles enough to grab his scimitar, and he's gonna make an attack at disadvantage. He's got a little bound up, and he rolls a 7. I ain't gonna do it. He gets 2 attacks. Makes a second attack. Hey, a 19. That's a disadvantage. Damn. So he reaches the scimitar up, and you can see him just struggling in the air, and just like flailing his free hand with his sword and trying to like get some sort of contact at the beast. He hits it. You hear it like, ah! And it's heading off to bring him home for dinner. That's it for his turn. Meglar, you're up.
Alrighty, well. I'm gonna move right next to where Kolos is. And I'm gonna use that javelin I'm gonna try to aim right at his foot with the javelin.
Okay. Nice. So yeah, that 22 is good enough for some pinpoint accuracy. Master of the javelin, Megalar runs up and just launches this thing, and it catches him in his foot that's carrying Haas. And let's see. So it does 8 piercing damage. So it's not enough to knock him off of his, or to drop him, but it looks like he's like losing his grip on Haas. And you see Haas kind of like dangling now, like both of his arms free, and even from this distance you can tell the fear that that Haas now probably has.
We're trying, buddy.
So yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Well, I'll throw another one at him.
Okay, I like it.
God.
Nice. So yeah, this one you throw your second one up there, and it hits him like right in the ankle, and you see him like screech as he opens up the foot and drops Haas.
Then he just yells right at Taurus. Now that's how you do it, you sack sniper.
I shot the bird.
Oh,
Shot him in the sack.
But I did not shoot the goblin.
So now Haas is currently falling from the sky. All right, Vossen, what are you doing?
I'm running up and gonna try to catch him.
Okay, you're gonna try to attempt to catch the falling goblin. So what are we gonna have you roll for this? Probably an acrobatics check to kind of like get lined up underneath him. No, butter.
Hell yeah.
All right, you're probably gonna take a little bit of damage as he drops down on top of you. But
That's right.
so let's see. Let's take. It's a D6 for every 10 feet, and then we'll divide that in half, right? So.
Like they both take the damage equally.
Yeah. Where's the dice roller? Ah, okay.
You know, Yuri's going to try to take credit for catching him anyway.
Like two outfielders colliding.
Yeah, basically. Not D20s. I don't want to roll 10 D20s. Hope you got your backup
my
character
God.
ready.
I'm so excited.
All right, so each of you, well, what's half of 38? 16?
19.
19. Yeah. So, yeah, you guys both take 19 points of bludgeoning damage as he lands on top of you. And, yeah, so Haas is looking really bad shape. Like, when he comes down, like, you hear, like, his arm snap. But he is back on the ground.
Is he
I heard.
breathing?
He's breathing. He looks jacked up. He's got a couple of claw marks in him, and yeah. So, is that it for your turn? Probably, right?
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, the creature, looking pissed, is going to use its action to swoop back down that 60 feet,
Pick him right back up.
and he's going to try to finish off his meal that he desperately wanted. Yeah, so he swoops back down and just lands like right on top of Vossen and Haas, and he makes 2 attacks. He tries to snap his beak at Haas. And misses.
Nice.
And then as he's trying to pick him up, he uses its massive talons to make a swipe at Vossen with a 21 to hit.
That hits.
For 12 slashing damage. This thing is pissed. Hey, at least Haas is okay, though. Go ahead, Snothers. Now this thing is on the ground.
See me like licking my lips now. Crack my knuckles. And... damn it! 13 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
Oh, thank God.
It's a big ass thing. It's easy to hit.
We've hit on 10, so.
Oh, that's true. 20 fire damage.
All right. How do you do it?
Wait.
It's enough to kill it.
Oh my God. All right. So, like, I'm sitting there rubbing my hands together. Like, Nautilus is kind of hungry. And you see this giant chromatic orb coming through that's all fired, and it just encases the top half of the bird, and its little bald head gets singed out as it slumps over. Slumps over, evens its towards them.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, so it slumps over, and you see its neck kind of snap back, and it lands into a big cloud of dust on the ground. Haas is looking real bad.
So
is Boston, actually.
Yuri just looks over at Snodler. Are we eating?
Snodlers would like to eat.
That
Snodlers needs a short rest.
As I walk over to Vossen, I'll switch to the chalice form, and I'll do a cure wounds on Vossen and use the bonus healing on Haas.
All right.
So we're gonna get. Let's see. Vossen's gonna get. Dang it! Why is it 9 health? I don't know why it's rolled in D&D Beyond, not in the thing. And Haas is gonna get. Whoops. 2 plus 3, so 5 health back for Haas.
All right, better than nothing.
And then I'll do the same thing, but the opposite way.
Okay.
yeah, so waste a spell slot. I can short rest.
Yeah, it's if we get a full short rest off. Also, it's only just 2 spell slots for like a lot of healing, so it's fine.
So who are you touching?
That one was for Haas, and then Vossen is gonna get.
The bird's not dead. It just moved.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying.
Vossen gets another 10 back.
So that Haas starts like coming to, and he starts like able to move his arm now, like as it magically starts mending itself back together, and he's like, big bird, not fun.
Sorry about that, man.
But there's lunch.
Big fall.
Meglar's going to take
Yep.
his javelins back.
I'm ready to carve this bird.
He looks over at Voss and he's like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
I'm going to pull my javelin out of his body, and then I'm going to do an investigation check, try to go find my other one.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, it's good enough. You end up finding it like stuck in a tree branch, in one of the limbs, and you get your javelin back.
Works for me. Is everyone good on health?
I'm good.
Not me.
Yeah, I'm good.
Snautilus would like a short rest to recuperate a little bit.
That'll work. Short rest sounds good.
Might as well have some lunch.
Eat some
I'm gonna.
bird.
Well, I'd like to cut up this bird and maybe cook some.
Yeah, you could attempt to start doing a little bit of that. I mean,
While they're doing the short rest or whatever,
Sure.
while we are.
start plucking some feathers and trying to hack off a chunk of vulture leg.
And while I'm doing that, I'm also keeping an eye on Meglar because something just doesn't seem right with him. He's been acting funny.
He's always acting funny.
I'm going to give Haas another 10 health. Won't touch him with my lay on hands.
All right. So yeah, he's feeling like he's back to his normal self.
I finished cooking the first leg of the bird. I just give it over to Snodlers.
Snautilus happily takes it.
And then I announced to everyone how looking for praise for this bird that I killed, which we all know I didn't even touch.
How are you going to lie to everyone who's a witness to it?
Snautilus even did it.
Yuri takes credit for shit that he knows people know he didn't do.
So
It's just how he
Snautilus
rolls.
thinks that it's everything. Got
Good
it.
job, Yuri. And I hand him my gourd.
Take a big old swig out of it after a day of alcohol withdrawal.
There's a little bit of blood on the gourd from Vossen spitting up his lungs onto it.
Just
I hand
nod.
it back to Voss and
Yeah.
So Hector, when you're kind of like sitting off, kind of just not doing much, taking a little break there, you notice out of the corner of your eye like a bunch of movement now up on the cliff side, and you see like these bits of red, kind of flashes, and you see kind of a medium-sized bird, not quite as big as the one you saw, but you see this red bird kind of dart off from the cliffside and kind of like fly back into some of the the vines that are kind of growing outside off of the out of the mountainside, and then it just kind of disappears back into the vines and brush.
I'll just tell everyone there's still stuff out there. Just keep your heads up. But I think we're okay for now, so I'll just stay out of the way. We're definitely being watched, though.
So we are taking a short rest, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Go ahead, and take a short rest.
All right.
Yep.
I rolled my one hit dice. I didn't know you could get that good of a roll on a hit dice.
Yeah, man, you got some good con.
I only needed 5 points.
I am using Arcane Recovery and returning a third level spell slot.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
And like I'm gonna have to start using my crossbow.
Why? We got a bunch of javelin throwers.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna be flying creatures, I mean, if I get lucky and they land in front of me.
Yeah, well, you just wait till everybody kills it, then you just say you did it.
This is true.
All right, so you guys, all pretty much all done with your short resting.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so at that, like, you guys all kind of get back up and regroup, and Haas says to all of you, like, it's not much further, just up over this ridge, we will see the volcano.
Nice.
Then I turn around.
Jerry just shakes his head and says, "Pussy."
You sure you're gonna be okay to go by yourself?
Yes, I suppose.
Imagine what would happen if you were all alone right now.
He would. Snodless thinks that he would still be flying.
Haas is much better by himself. Bigger target, more people.
Yeah, fair point.
Especially that one over there. And he points to Yuri.
Does this cliffside look pretty climbable?
Yeah, so you actually watch Haas. He makes his way over there and says, "Follow me," and just starts climbing up the cliff. So you can climb the cliff, and it's only going to cost you. It's just going to count as difficult terrain, so it's not like you need to roll on a bunch of skill checks or anything. It's easily enough to climb, but it's 80 feet high, so it takes you a little bit. You guys get about halfway up, and all of a sudden you start feeling like being watched. And Hector, you see exactly what you saw before. All of a sudden, the rock side or the cliff side essentially becomes alive with all this fluttering as you guys start getting surrounded by these bright red birds. They kind of look like a hawk, and they are all over the place. They start like flying from like out of these vines and behind rocks and swooping in, and they're all starting to try to make diving attacks at you. Ah!
How? You said we're about halfway up.
Yeah, you're about halfway up, and let's do one more initiative here.
What did you say the cliff is?
It's a 40-foot cliff. About halfway up. I mean, it's an 80-foot cliff. You're about halfway up.
I had about 40 foot.
Now, these birds don't look like I was describing to Hector. They're bigger than probably your average hawk, but not, ginormous size.
Hey, it worked that time.
Cool.
My initiative's always so low. Wait, so it didn't work. It just rolled it over here. That still need to be added manually, I guess.
It's so weird. Where'd you go?
And you had yourself selected when you did that?
Yeah, I'm still selected.
Can you? I really want you to stream your window because I totally trust you.
Sure, give me a sec. I remember how to do this. It's easy.
Screen right below the disconnect button and above the setting.
I have several of them. See if I selected the proper screen.
Oh god, porn.
Oh no, not again.
Don't play it too loud. Meglar's parents are asleep.
Now your mother's here moaning.
Yeah, see, it's still like this was all up.
Oh my god.
So is everybody in the initiative now?
So many.
Yeah, and for some reason I had to add them turns individually. Like, what? Last time I could just click on add them all, but All right, we're gonna add turns, and we're gonna kind of split them up again, so they go in like waves, essentially.
Plus.
Okay, so oh god, there's so many of them. All right, let me do one more here. Oh, they're so good. They're so good.
There, just do that.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh God.
And we'll do one more. This group didn't do as good. See, I pre-rolled for like that goblin encounter, but you can only like load up one encounter at a time. So I'm like, damn, I hope they don't get that far, because then I'm gonna have to do another long ass initiative.
I mean, it's almost midnight.
I think we're making.
They really had, like automatic initiative for mobs
Yeah.
to roll.
This is one of those things where it's like in person, it's a lot easier because you don't have to do all this bullshit.
Yeah, because you have already rolled it on a sheet of paper.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
Or you just make it up on the fly.
Go last. Fuck.
who's that? Yeah, you're legit last.
At least I still have those temporary hit points.
Okay, so Snobblers, you get to go first.
Thank God I got back one of my fireball spell slots.
Because I'm about to get fireball on it.
Fuck yeah, you
light
are.
this cliff on fire.
Why'd I have to climb up next to Snodlers?
Because Snodlers always blows himself up too, right?
Yeah.
I nearly took absorb elements today too, and I did.
Yeah, you fucked up.
It is fucking cold out.
Like a mandatory spell with Snodlers around.
It's a 20-foot radius?
Yeah.
20 foot. Freaking huge.
You could toast all of them.
Yeah, so I respectfully request a pinpoint. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna fireball the left side of the cliff.
It's gonna be nasty.
So with that arcana, you can tell me where I aim it, considering I'm climbing, I'm trying to do it, and how skilled I am at actually nailing them all.
All right, so how about you roll a... You can go ahead and roll a d6. We'll see how many feet... Or how many squares off the mark you are.
Jesus.
Nice. So, just move it whichever way you want. 3 squares away from the optimal center point.
So you're telling me I can move it whatever squares I want and accidentally hit someone, right?
All right, so theoretically you could go to the right side of center or the left. Depends on how bad you want to.
Do diagonal squares count?
It's gotta. It's gotta be.
Here's 3.
No, it does not count. left or right of this guy, not up or down.
Wait,
Of the center guy.
Oh fuck! I was originally targeting this, but
right. Well, yeah.
That's
I mean,
right.
3 squares of that, I guess.
All right.
That'll be your new center.
Perfect.
You have to get at least one party member. It's kind of the rule.
I mean, God. I mean, I can either get all of them or like none of them.
I mean, you're gonna get like.
I'll be a nice person and not fuck them up.
Look at 5.
Everybody just healed up, bro. You can take it.
I don't know that you can really just take that fireball.
What are the odds you roll max damage? Come on.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about 1 bird difference. I'm going to be honest.
And you're climbing on the side of a cliff. You fall out 40 feet.
Yeah. You're dead. You're dead. All right, so I'm going to nab it on this side.
All right.
I'm disappointed in that fact because... oh, well.
Well, I'll give you this guy. He's in there. So this one.
Alright.
So those 4 on the left.
Yeah, I
Are
basically
all
just
within
didn't,
range.
I just didn't hit one.
Ooh, nice though. 24. Yep. So they all die.
Fucking
These did look
Snodlers.
threatening, right?
Yeah, they look threatening. I mean,
All right. It was like they're all parrots. Fuck you, parrots.
Probably want a cracker. Ah. Yes.
That was also lightning.
oh,
my.
awesome. That just sounds so much cooler though.
I mean, fire. I was worried they'd be resistant. You know, I mean, they're red.
Sure.
Snodlers doesn't really understand colors that well.
I like it.
I mean, I've never really seen them until I got up here, pretty much, right? Dark vision and all.
Yeah, and this is the first you've seen anything this beautiful looking, and then just kill it.
Technically, beautiful is in the eye of the beholder, right? It's this vibrant is a more accurate description,
That's
but it's
true.
really weird. And I don't know how you want to play this. I would like to at least have my tiny guy with me, so I have him like within like 5-ish feet of me, because I can carry him with me until he either gets dispelled or I sleep. I think.
I would like him to, just be like hanging out on like your shoulder, just like hovering over
Chilling.
your backpack or something.
All right. In that case, then I respectfully wish that he move 30 feet this way. And you see Snodler's like air pumping his fist and then almost losing his grip.
Whoa!
And gets back in.
Okay.
Oh, fist pumping.
A little fist pump action on the side of the mountain. Nice. All right, that's probably it for your turn, right?
Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. I thought I said that.
Oh, no, sorry. All right, go ahead, Boston.
Would I be able to make it to the top?
Let's see.
That's a 20.
Yeah, you could probably make it to the top if you use your whole action up to just climb up there.
I'm gonna use a key point and use Step of the Wind, and use dash to get to the top.
All right, go for it.
And I'm gonna fucking whack this one.
Caca! Poor
Ah, bird, bitch. Ah.
Nice. All right. Do you explode this
They're like
bird?
oh yeah, I want feathers flying everywhere, like fucking downward chop, and just see feathers poof. Oh, I don't succeed.
Oh wow! It's it actually like you like crack one of its wings. The thing falls to the ground next to you. It's like flopping with one wing, and at this point, you look. It looks at you like dead in your eyes, and you see it has this like razor sharp beak, but it's still alive.
Oh my god! I'm going to. Use a key point and use flurry of blows to like stomp on it.
Oh, it's so brutal. Poor thing.
15
It hits. Yeah.
for 11.
Or you just literally come over there and just like stomp on this thing's neck, and it's like, yeah.
I'm gonna use my movement speed to come over here and use my last unarmed attack.
Just gonna punt one of them.
27
It's gonna hit.
for 10.
10. Yeah, so you run over there and just like smash into this other one as it's flying around. Yeah, it's gone.
Just imagine like running up soccer kicking it and just seeing feathers fly. That's my turn.
All right.
It's like Boston's like a superhero.
He is too. That takes care of that guy. That takes care of that guy. All right, so that leaves this one who comes flying over to the closest person who's disrupting his peaceful home on the side of the mountain. And he comes flying in at Hector and attempts to peck you with its beak. He's 17 to hit.
Hits.
For 5 points of piercing damage as this thing like, flies in and it just like grabs a hold of your back. You can feel its claws digging into you and it's just like pecking into the back of your neck. Okay, Vitoris.
I will attempt to shoot that one. Yeah, that one. $16 to hit.
16 will hit that guy.
For 15 damage.
Yeah, so you shoot a crossbow bolt and it just you just see feathers that shoots
That
it right back into the side of the cliffside.
That land all over Hector.
It just like shot it like out of the air and back in off of Hector's back, and you can just see it tumbling down the side of the cliff.
You're welcome to Hector. And then shit really did a number on this left-hand side, didn't you? Bonus action, I'll try to shoot that one.
All right, well, you're going to have to make an acrobatics check because you have your hand probably on the mountainside.
Touche.
All right, so you managed to hold on, juggle enough to put your crossbow away, and then grab a hold of your right hand and pop over the left hand. Go ahead and make your attack.
10?
Yeah, but you miss. So all that juggling around trying to keep yourself from falling off the side, you just whiff on the shot.
It happens. That's it for my turn.
All right, Mugler.
Now, can I hop up here and get like right towards this guy here?
To which guy?
This guy here.
That would be 30 feet of movement.
All right, then that's what I will do, and I will enter rage.
It's a little excessive.
So mad at you, bird.
They're just like parakeets, bro.
Is that what number of rage is that? Your third rage for the day?
He decided.
Yeah,
not
this
to-
is the third. No, this is second rage.
Okay.
We talked about the other one.
Yeah. All right, so you kind of like shimmy across, holding your longsword in one hand. You're just flailing out, and yeah, you make contact with this bird, and you just cut it in half.
Sweet.
So, what do you mean when you enter rage? Like, do you get mad? Are you mad?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Have you never seen the Red Halo?
I don't understand.
You've been
What
angry
do you mean
enough.
the red?
You've been angry enough, like in person, that you actually get like vision blurred, where you get like a red halo around your vision.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know.
But anyway, that's it for my move.
Okay. Who's that? Who's up next?
Bird.
That's a bird. Yeah, so this guy, he comes towards the closest guy he sees. Let me put these guys up on the mountain. They're halfway up the mountain, too. Yuri. Alright, so he comes flying in and tries to do the same thing. They have the similar tactics. They reach out with their claws and just start pecking at things with their beaks. Onto the back of Kolos. A 14 to hit.
Yeah, misses.
That's it. It's your turn, Kolos. You can
All
feel
right.
this bird just like clawing at your back.
I'm gonna hold on to the cliff with my one hand and use my longsword to swipe at the one that just attacked me.
All right.
That's fucking baller.
Oh yeah, and, yeah. You just slice into that one. It falls down the side of the cliff.
Is this one right here still right next to me?
He's holding onto the side of his of the cliff. He's got his nest right there, and a couple baby hawks are sitting in the nest.
Oh man, I feel bad. Hit the nest too.
So you reach across back with that longsword, and you see the freaking nest go flying, and flightless baby birds come falling out of the nest as you cut the mother's head off. It's fucked up, dude. I can't believe you did that.
That's better than them starving.
All right, is that it for your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, Yuri, what are you gonna do? You're halfway up the mountain, a bunch of birds flying around. Shit looks crazy.
Can I shoot these? Can I shoot these birds? Or because I'm fat, I can't hold on and shoot it.
Yeah, well, your crossbow is going to require you to use two hands on it. You can let go of the cliff and try to balance and take a shot with your crossbow.
Negative. I'm just going to press on.
I mean, it would be a really baller move if you did that. It's your choice, though.
How far up am I? 40 feet?
Yeah, it's 40 feet, so...
That's 4d10.
Wait, I thought they were d6s.
I'm trying to scare him.
Oh,
I'm trying to get him to do something cool.
Yuri can handle 4d10.
Yikes.
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
You're gonna just climb up the rest of the cliff, or you're gonna attempt to?
I'm gonna brace myself, and I'm going to try to shoot them. So.
All right, so go ahead and make a strength or athletics or an acrobatics check, whatever way you want to play it, to hold yourself in place on the side of the cliff.
What do you prefer? Does it not matter?
No, whatever you prefer. I would probably pick whatever my better skill is, but. All right, yeah, you manage to do it. You hug there, and you get your thick dwarven thighs around a rock, and manage to grab the crossbow out of your pack. Who are you gonna shoot?
So how?
The one that
21.
was the one that was next to Kolos there. So yeah, you maim this bird. You shoot a crossbow bolt right through its wing, but he's still alive.
Can I shoot him again?
Sure. You might as well finish him off.
Or
come on, you haven't killed anything yet, so this is your chance.
Let it be a poor defenseless bird. Kill it.
You missed. Its head's gonna miss.
Can I use my action surge?
Sure.
Do I need to do another?
No, it's fine. I'll give it to you. Action surge.
All right.
Yes. This time you snipe right through the body of that little bird. He gone. You still have another attack now. I think there's only.
Can I shoot?
I think there's only one left, isn't there? Oh no.
Can I shoot this one? Can I shoot at this one?
I can't see this one over here.
Yes.
This one. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Nice. It definitely hits him for 2. He's still alive, but his squawking is much quieter now.
So, do I have, being that I was on the cliff, do I still have my movement? Did that take any movement?
No, you didn't use any of your movement.
So, I would also like to press on up the cliff as...
Yeah, so you
far as I can.
Yeah, you stow your crossbow and move yourself up the mountain about 10 feet. What's your movement speed? 25? Yeah, so you get about 10 feet more up the mountain.
So, and that maybe another 10 foot to go.
Yeah. That brings up the... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to say then that's my turn.
Okay. That brings up the remaining of these hawks. This one swoops down. Both of these swoop down at Meglar and attempt to make some attacks on him. 21 to hit. So you're raging, so you only take 2 points of piercing damage. The second one's a 14 to hit, which is gonna miss. Oh no, it's just gonna. Is that gonna hit you or not?
Nope, 14's not gonna hit.
Okay, so yeah, you just take the 2 points of piercing damage. Is this one of these hawks is just grabbing a hold of you and right up in your face, and
that's like
the one that Yuri shot that's got a crossbow bolt stuck in him. He comes flying over at your face, Yuri. He makes an attack at you with a 23 to hit. So he comes flying in, and you feel him just like grab onto your shoulders and start pecking at the back of your head for 4 points of piercing damage. And this guy's dead. That guy's dead. That guy's dead. We're running out of birds here.
Don't worry, I'm coming up. I'll fireball a whole lot of them.
there's only one by me.
Yeah, so that takes care of all of their turns. So now it's Hector's turn. The last
Sweet. So
couple of
we're like
birds.
40 foot from the top of this thing, right?
Oh, I never rolled for what's his name. So I'll put Haas behind you. Keep forgetting about him. All right, yeah, go ahead.
You're expecting him to be dead by now.
Yeah, no.
I'm about 40 foot from the top of this thing, right?
Right.
I use, I don't know, 10, 15. Well, I guess to go 15 feet would cost like 30 foot, right?
Yeah, right.
So I use all my movement to climb as far as I can, and I'll misty step to the rest of it. So I go to the top.
Cool.
And then that, let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a Sacred Flame on that bird that's already hurt.
All right.
I just need a
Is it Dex?
display. There we go. No, dang it. Cast. Nope. It's something. Yeah, Dexterity save DC 14.
Okay, he rolls a 10.
Nice. He'll take 5 points of radiant damage.
And that's more than enough to finish his poor bird ass off.
And that's the end of my turn.
All right, so Haas will have a turn. He uses his 30 feet, so he goes 15 feet up the side of the cliff. And he is going to not throw his spear because he doesn't want to miss and lose his weapon. So he's just going to take the dodge action. Brings up Mr. Snalders.
There's only two left, right?
Yep, 2 birds left, flying around Meglar's head.
All right, I'm gonna try to snipe one out.
Fireball.
Fireball.
All right, intelligence save. 16.
Saves, and that's my turn.
Which is funny because they have a -4 to intelligence.
So it rolled a 20.
It did.
I guess bonus action, I'm going to move to here. I'm going to climb up the thing a little bit.
All right. All right, Vasan, are you gonna finish off this bird
Maybe.
or save it for Taurus?
I ran over here. Can I reach this bird?
Yeah, poor thing. He's
I'm gonna
he's
pinata it.
flying
Oh,
above
yeah,
a couple
crap.
feet in the air.
Oh, I missed.
I hope candy falls out.
I missed.
Yeah, you missed.
Oh. Bonus action, try to punt it. With a unarmed strike.
Oh yeah. Just see
Feathers flying.
feathers
in.
get in Meglar's face.
I can't use my other attack to throw a dart, can I?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Meglar, make a dexterity saving throw. This is the one that was attacking Meglar. It's like trying to claw his
Just
face.
threw a dart in his eye.
This is why you never throw the darts, huh?
Yep, they're bad luck.
Too perfect. And don't forget, too, they're made out of like shark's teeth. So you
That's
just gotta,
even better.
So a shark teeth gets like wedged right into into Meglar's like top of his head. And it just like sticks it just above his ear. All right, go ahead and roll damage.
My bad, Meglar.
You shoot like Vectorus.
All right. So
6 damage.
So Meglar, you take 3 points of piercing damage. You got a dart stuck in your neck.
I thought you said over the head.
That was an old school reference. I had to.
as I said, that should be a D6, by the way.
Why? I just picked
Darts.
him out of the thing.
Sorry, what?
I just added it from the list.
Oh, I don't know. It might not do it right, but I thought darts were monk weapons. They might not be. Oh, I guess knives are. Never mind. Not darts. Never mind. I'm an idiot.
All right.
So good.
So is that it for your turn?
Yar.
All right, Vittoria. So you get the lucky shot. Roll a 1.
You hit Meglar in the ass with this one.
20 not natural.
Nice. All right. I'm sure it's gonna. Yeah.
18 points of damage.
Oh yeah, it just vaporizes. All right. So now that you just killed off the whole colony of Bloodhawks, you make your.
I reached down to help Meglar up to retrieve my dart.
Pick it out of his eyes.
Yeah. Like as I'm reaching down to grab his hand, I use my other hand to pull the dart out of his forehead. My bad, brother.
God damn it, dude.
All right. Yeah. So you guys make your way back, to the top of this ridge. And here before you, you can see now in full view this volcano in the distance, and kind of surrounding the whole outside of it. You see, definitely the terrain is much more different. It's way more jagged and rocky and much more barren compared to the jungle that you've been in. So Haas makes his way up there with you, and he kind of tells you, "We are almost there. Just a few more miles."
Nautilus isn't sure you're gonna make it.
I
We're one more bird away from you not making it.
am great warrior.
Hell yeah.
All right, so you guys start traveling, kind of essentially out of the jungle at this point, and Haas kind of picks up a narrow dirt trail that kind of like weaves through these large jagged rocks, and you guys get a little bit closer, and you approach a very large ravine. You can kind of, at this point, it's starting to get evening, late afternoon, early evening. The sun is, low on the horizon. You get to this ravine, and you can hear water crashing on the rocks below. But just ahead of you, across the ravine, is a large rope bridge that kind of connects the two sections of the ravine together.
Oh, great.
just on the opposite side, kind of in the dim light as the sun's starting to set, you see a figure standing on the other side of the bridge. And a voice calls out, "Oh, hello again." And
You motherfucker.
you guys recognize this voice is the voice of Thomas.
The train?
He says,
Fucking Maglar.
"You know, I wish that you really would have just taken my advice and turned back, guys. Now, if you cross this bridge, I'm gonna have to take action against you."
Nautilus thinks it's the dragon.
Who are you really?
This is the first time I'm going to say this, but we should have listened to Yuri.
The second time, we should have listened to Yuri.
Can I tell how long the bridge is?
Yeah, it's as long as it looks like on this map.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like 60 feet.
So who are you really, and what are you actually doing here?
Well, now that's some information that I don't know if I need to discuss with you. Unless you want to come over here, and I will be forced to discuss that with you, but...
Snarlos wants to come. Snarlos wants information.
Yeah.
So as you start walking, take a step onto the bridge, he starts talking to you in a little bit of a deeper voice. He says, "I was afraid that you would be foolish. I am a creature sworn to protect the heart of Kaza-Dur. Now you must face my wrath." And at that point, you see his figure transform into this massive snake-like creature with these wings sprouting out from its side, and this reptilian face with large fangs, and he starts flying up in the air. And that's where we're going to end our session tonight.